All right, this is it. We had a good Christmas. It's over. We just got to relax now and roll around in all our loot.
Well, we got to get over these hangovers so that we can get geared up for the New Year's party.
Technically, when everyone's hearing this, I think we can all say Happy New Year's right now.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
So it's going up on 2010, the first day of, right?
First day of.
Is that accurate? Okay,
Well,
so yeah.
well,
Any hookers you kill.
maybe the day after, like at 8 p.m.
So
but
any hookers
it
you
will
kill
be up
don't
around
count
that time.
anymore, right? Well, if you kill any hookers in 2009, it doesn't count in 2010.
Well, try
So
not
do
to be,
whatever you want on the 31st.
It's
Well,
a
try not to be
clean
too
slate.
loud, just so that we don't destroy your hangover.
No, you have until Fat Tuesday to kill hookers.
You guys keep talking about hangovers. I don't know what you're talking about. It's Christmas to New Year's. You just don't stop drinking. You just keep it. You wake up in the morning before you can really focus. You do a couple shots.
So that's what the
Keep
IV
it
drip is
going.
for.
Fortunately, for one of my Christmas presents was a backup liver.
Yeah, wind up little crankcase, little steampunk liver for you there. Hope
I,
you like that, by the way.
And all I
Harrison.
got was a dialysis machine.
I got Fish so drunk he passed out, and then I took his young liver.
It tasted good with a nice Chianti.
Liver or
Fava beans.
cherry?
Anyway, this
Well,
is the
both.
League of Extremely Ordinary Gentlemen, and this is our post-Christmas New Year's episode where we're going to talk about all the great loot that we got.
And the apology for the last episode.
Well, we already recorded that.
I make no apology.
Yes, but
We don't apologize twice.
on second thought, on second listen, I'm like, I think this deserves like a second apology.
I wasn't there, and I apologize.
Same here. I was kind of shocked in absentia.
I actually did not know that you could conjugate the word fuck in that many ways.
What were you going to say, Kayla?
Oh, I just said I re-listened to it. It was actually one of the more fun ones
Really?
for me.
I
Yeah.
thought it was pretty funny myself. But, that was funny to me with the whole thought. It's like, I think even Kayla might have been, like, kind of blue during that
My
one.
mom wrote me out of the will.
But, now that we've apologized, because that's really, I think we don't need to say anything else about
Actually,
that
it's
episode
really weird
until-
if you do take a Christmas story and play that episode over it. It syncs up perfectly, just like Dark Side of the Moon was flawless.
I was also excommunicated by the Pope. I'm not even Catholic.
He went out of his way to make you a Catholic
Yeah.
just so he could kick you
That's
out
right.
of the church.
We just want you to know, don't come around here.
Yeah, the Vatican is that's unfriendly territory to me
Jason,
now.
being an Irishman, do you get a choice as to not being Catholic?
True, we're all Catholic by default.
Oh, don't make any Irish jokes.
Oh, yeah, we wouldn't want to piss off some of our more sensitive Irish members, like, fungus monkey!
Yeah, you mean like 3 of the fucking people in the room? 3 of the fucking people in the room.
3 and counting, Jesus.
We spread like a fungus.
Yeah, it is getting a little disturbing
It's
around
spread
here.
just like the blight did on the potatoes that forced us to come to your shores.
I'm going to have to go to my pharmacist and say, do you have a powder or something for Irish?
It's called cocaine.
It's all over my living room. It's called cocaine.
It's a hell of a drug.
So if we were ever going to piss off any Irish listeners, that was the topper right there. Goddamn Irish cokeheads all over the place. It's like,
Speaking of, I gotta go powder my nose.
it's like having Boondock Saints right in my living room.
Yeah, right. Only it's more entertaining and not totally cliched to the 90s.
Oh! Damn.
Nice.
I wasn't going to go there, but I laughed. But yes, this is the League of Extremely Ordinary Gentlemen. We're going to be catching up on what we got for Christmas. We're going to be talking about what the best films, TV shows, music, whatever the hell we can think of.
Oh,
that were
comic
from
books.
2009 comic
Remember
books.
those?
Yeah, wow. That is a subject that we like to address from time to
Do
time.
we read comic books anymore?
The rumor is no. Did you know they cost money?
Wow.
I know. I used to just go into Randy's store and put them under my jacket and leave.
Oh,
but-
you mean Rogues Gallery Comics and Games of Round Rock, Texas?
Yeah, they're so easy to steal from there.
That's true, because most of the time I go in is only D3, and that guy's so easily distracted.
Dude, just toss him a $5 and
You
you
guys,
can take
you guys don't
anything
know
you
that
want.
there's a compound
Toss
poison
one.
on every item.
Toss him a fiber, you can toss him a garland of tinsel.
Ooh, shiny.
I'd say it's not true, but
But then he starts chewing on it.
Seriously, just a little squeaky toy. Hey, over here, go get it.
Go get it. Who wants
by
the
the way,
ball?
stealing, just for the record, stealing from Rogues Gallery will give you permanent VD.
And
Again?
Yep.
And Grant can tell you for sure that is true.
It sucks.
How about a roll call?
I am Cyrus.
I'm Harris.
Leon.
Jason.
Kayla.
Grant.
Igor Stravinsky.
Randy.
Fish.
And unfortunately, we're missing a few of our members. We're missing Kristen, who is in Chicago right now. Chicago, seeing her sister, who's going to get married.
Yes,
And-
her freshly engaged sister.
And then Allison, who's I don't know why Allison isn't here.
She's out of town or something.
Is she
right?
out of town?
I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she is. Yeah, you're saying it like we don't have enough people in this room already.
We couldn't fit any more
It's
people
30
in this
degrees
room.
outside and 90 degrees in this room.
Yeah, the ceiling is dripping like it's fucking apocalypse now in here.
If
Cyrus has a razor blade with a snail crawling across it.
Ooh, dogs and cats sleeping together, total chaos. Okay.
If there were any more people
Mass
in here, it'd be
hysteria.
Thunderdome for the microphone.
Well, you know what? Let's just jump in here. Let's just jump right in. What did you guys do for Christmas? I didn't see any of you except Bo on Christmas Day. Oh, and I saw you, Fish. What about the rest? You came too. That's right, Kayla. I'm sorry. I saw 3 of you on Christmas Day. The rest I have no idea. We had a Christmas like orphans party for people who either family was out of town or just found themselves trapped here for whatever reason. And that was a nice little gathering. But what did you guys do?
And the rest of us have people who love us.
Exactly. Well, or at least give lip service to that. Who live here in town. Just because I had to move halfway across the country to get away from those people doesn't mean they don't love me. What about you? Let's start with Harris. You were off. You were way out of town, weren't you?
That was in San Antonio.
Oh, you were in San Antonio.
Might as well have been way out of town. It's
Yeah.
like another country.
Who were you spending your time with?
I was spending my time with my good friend Johnny Walker.
So
How could he
family,
be
then.
in 2 places at once? That cheating son of a bitch.
He's just like Santa Claus, Jason. He's just like Santa Claus.
Yeah, I spent time with the family, which meant that I spent quite a lot of time curled up in the corner with a little bottle of, Daddy's Little Helper, making quiet crying noises to myself.
Yeah, that sounds a little too familiar.
Okay, this is probably going to be a recurring theme, but I was in Houston visiting my folks, getting drunk quite a bit while I was there.
Yeah, I read some of your emails. They were like, more whiskey.
Wow, this is just like that Dolly Parton song, A Hard Liquor Christmas.
Yeah,
It's very Dickensian. It's nice.
Leon actually was emailing in tongues.
From some kind of steampunk computer in Houston, apparently don't have
Vowels.
It's actually just a set of semaphore flags that they keep up on the roof of his grandma's house.
Well, you were actually home on Christmas Day because Fish told me he was outside your house. You threw open your shutters. You were like, "You lad, what day is it?"
It's Christmas Day, sir.
Go buy an absolute watchman for yourself.
What? The one as big as me, sir? The very one.
I always wonder about that. He's like, go down there and buy that goose. It's like, dude, I'm broke. Look at me. Just tell the shop owner it's for me. Oh, well, I'll just do that with everything from now on.
Yeah, the next scene, he's driving down the road in a Maserati. What the?
Mr. Scrooge said I could buy myself a Countach.
What? He co-signed. It's okay. I'll pay you back. Anyway, what about you, Jason? What did you get up to on the...
Drugs.
Yeah, okay.
Drugs and booze. Kayla, what about you?
Wow, is that the extent of your Christmas story? Nothing-
Movies and drugs and booze.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure like the next Leog is going to be that intervention for Jason.
Yeah, it could be.
And that Oxycontin that I know he's still on.
God damn, it's about time.
I've
The only
noticed,
We're still going to record it and post it, though, so we get
the
credit.
only intervention where people are drinking.
I've noticed that most of his Twitter posts have the word gin or scotch in them.
I
And
think you
sometimes
have a
picture.
problem. And you're too fucking loud.
Yeah, dude, I like to drink, but you have a fucking problem. You need
Yeah.
to get your shit together.
Welcome to Intervention, the blind leading the blind.
You need to put down that absinthe. You got to get back to the healthy drinks.
Yeah, only the brown stuff.
I don't know if any of y'all watch Rescue Me, but in this 5th season, there's a point towards the end of it where his whole family, Dennis Leary's whole family, gathers together in a bar that he owns to have an intervention with him. And at the end of it, he's convinced them all to start drinking again. It's like, that's the thing of beauty, man. I want to have that intervention. Anyway, okay, Kayla, what did you do? You came over here for some of it, I know that.
Yeah, I have a loving family, and so I spent the morning with them, having a good time and playing on Santa. Brought my 7-year-old sister a trampoline, so we assembled that and played, and
nice.
then
Oh, that's death. Those trampolines are death.
and then when the family went to sleep at 8 p.m., which I can't do, I came over here to play some more.
Indeed, that was fun. We were glad to see you because I didn't know if you were coming. I was like, Kayla! Kayla. I think the whole house went, Kayla, like you were Norm from Cheers or something.
She didn't go, a girl.
There might have been a bit of that. That's true.
Get her.
Grant?
I went up to Dallas, and it actually snowed for Christmas Day in Dallas. It hasn't done that in like over 80 years.
Good Lord.
And it was pretty awesome.
The White Death fell from the sky?
Yes. And then we realized it was really cold, and we couldn't do anything when it snows in Texas because people don't know how to drive in bad weather.
No, they certainly do
So
not.
then I was landlocked with my family, so a lot of drinking like you guys. But with the family, it was fun.
That's true. In this town, it's so weird. The tiniest little bit of slipperiness on the roads, like it can just rain, and people are like, it's like the apocalypse just happened. They just swerve off the road. I mean, I grew up in maybe it's because I grew up in an icy part, place that every year we had to deal with it. And in driving school, they teach you how to drive on ice. I mean, it's like you turn into the skid and you just kind of straighten up. But people do the opposite, and their car spins wildly out of
When I went to
control.
driving school, it was in West Texas, and they taught us how to drive when your tires are melting.
Here's a sort of a breakdown of the problem. Austin is kind of like Kenosha and Grimjack, and like everybody from all over comes here.
That's true.
They come to visit, and they go, wow, this place is awesome. I'm staying. So we have all these different styles of driving all in this one little city. In Houston, people drive like they're on the Autobahn, and half of it's under construction. A lane will suddenly end out of nowhere. It's like it's the worst driving habitat you could ever be in, and yet the whole time I was there, I never saw one accident.
Wow.
It baffled me. So I was like, man, these drivers suck. They cut across 4 lanes at 80 miles an hour, and yet nobody ever crashes. So it's just here. It's just the mentality of people here with all.
Well, it's weird because you always hear from people saying, oh, my city, no, we have the worst drivers. But I've lived and visited in a lot of places. I've never seen any place as bad as Austin.
It's because everybody's stoned.
Well,
Because of me.
And because of Kayla.
No, I don't know if it's like stoned or it's just like people whose cars are stolen. I don't know what it is, but all you see is people who are driving 20 miles below the speed limit in the fast lane here.
It's not just the drivers too. Even the bikes, like the bicycles are assholes.
Do not get me started on the fucking cyclists.
I'm sorry. Okay, I've got a lot of respect for those of you who are trying to bring like more sustainable transportation, but
fuck them.
But Jason,
we have the full moon critical mass where all of you assholes get together and block traffic, and I'm going to murder me a hippie.
Well, Jason's got a silhouette of about 100 bikes on the side of his car. Got one. He is the Red Baron of cycle killing.
Damn straight. I'm
you
going to
guys-
have some sort of like grill bladed thing installed on the front of my truck.
You guys do know that Grant bicycles almost everywhere.
That's my point exactly.
Not much longer, apparently. He's got
Yeah, you almost nicked me the other day, Jason. I'm sure it was an accident.
His aim's getting
only
better,
though. Almost only counts in horseshoes and hand
Yeah, I
grenades.
think I figured out who spray painted faggot hippie on your bike.
It's not a lot of surface area. You really had to take your time with that.
He's an artist.
Well, he
I
did
know,
do
it's
it.
in Gothic lettering.
I know. It was beautiful calligraphy. I couldn't believe it. The surprising thing is that he was there for like 9 hours
Well,
doing that. What
if
were
it's
you
worth
doing?
doing.
Yeah, he beat me up and scared me away from the bike for a while.
Well, I did want to tell one story about the icy driving. When I first moved here, I lived in a house up in North Austin off of Runberg, and there was this place where, and it was
In
that
the
snow.
ghetto,
It was the snow
On a
that
cold
year
and
that
gray
we-
August
was-
morning.
It was that year we actually had the snow. It was like 95, 96, something like
remember
that.
that one.
And it was like, I mean, it was real. It would have been a real like everything closing down snow anywhere, which is the only time that's ever happened in 17 years I've lived here. But I mean, we're not talking nightmare. You could drive on it. So people would try. And at the end of our road, it kind of curved off the road, and there was this house with this beautiful white picket fence right there at that curb.
You notice the use of the past tense.
Well, it was-
Really, they might as well just painted the bullseye on it.
we ended up sitting down there with a bunch of people and a case of beer, just watching people just one after another just crash into that fence and take out more and more pieces
and
of
then
it.
we would dine on their flesh, like the ghouls that we are.
Well, they come out all panicked, and we're like, look, they're not home, and can you see all all the other pieces of the fence
Yeah.
are.
Actually, I gotta say, I used to go to Les Amis every rainy day when I lived near campus, and they still had a Les Amis coffee shop because that was the best place to see people get rear-ended. Ooh, sort of like a wreck every rainy day.
Really, because Randy goes to a theater over
That's
on
a different
Runberg.
kind of rear-ending.
Oh, never mind.
Right, and it's actually spit roasting. So
Oh my God! I think that is the first Leog spit roasting.
really, you didn't mention that in the Christmas episode? I'm shocked.
Somewhere in hell, a devil just got his bat wings.
Google it, kids. Image search. It's your friend.
Don't image search that.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys are talking about, but just from the context, I think I'm gonna leave it alone.
All right.
Well, we are an educational podcast.
We are. People
You'll
have told
never
me,
look at a rotisserie the same way again.
People have told me they've learned all sorts of things on this, many of which I would never admit to my parents.
We're like the leapfrog of adult podcasting.
Next week's the Cleveland Steamer.
Or the gateway drug to alcohol, that's for sure. Have people go, thank you so much for your episode where you talked about vodka. Now I know exactly what brands to go out and buy. It's like, hey, your profile says you're 16. Shit.
Kid, don't buy it. Just raid your dad's liquor cabinet.
There you go. Yeah, that's not illegal.
$10 to the hobo down the street gets it for you cheaper.
All right, let's go to Bo with his Christmas Day experiences. What did you do other than your all too brief cameo at my house?
Well, surprisingly enough, all of my surviving family members love me. So
I just don't live here.
He killed the ones that didn't.
So we did the traditional. We do the gifts on Christmas morning. So I did that with my mom. Then I went over to my mom's cousin, her house, and we had our Christmas dinner there. We've been doing that since my dad died. And it's really cool because her husband is a musician, and he used to play with an artist called named Marsha Ball. In a band back in the 70s Cosmic Cowboy heyday, and he's got all kinds of cool flyers around his house. He's got a framed letter that Stevie Ray Vaughan wrote him saying, "Hey man, meet me, at this club at such and such time. We'll be looking for you." And it's like, oh my God, is that from Stevie
Whoa.
Ray? It's like, yeah. So that was fun, and then then I took a very long nap to wash the tryptophan out of my system, and then I came over here for a little while. Then I went over to my friend Karina's house, and we have a ritual there that we do bad poetry night, and because Karina finds stuff on the internets and interwebs, and she's a published poet herself, and a very good one, but she can tell bad poetry, and we all just kind of round-robinly read these things, and they're wretched, but they're fucking hilarious. Unfortunately, there weren't enough people to do that this year, so we ended up going down to the Draft House, which is my local boozer, and I got completely hosed, and then I went home and watched Lost and passed out.
Wow. And in case, I don't know, did we actually say on a podcast yet that you got hooked on Lost?
No, actually, yeah, that's my Christmas gift to the league and to all the league fans. I finally started watching Lost. I'm halfway through season 2, so hopefully by the time that we get our season 6 premiere going, I will be up to speed and can
what do you think
finally
so
start
far?
jumping in. I'm loving it. Right now I'm in season 2 in the middle, so I'm kind of in the doldrums, as I've been told.
Yeah.
Oh, of Lost?
Yeah.
2 is as bad as it gets, and even that's not bad.
Yeah, I'm still enjoying it, but there is still a little. I'm like, all right, you hammered this point that you established in the first season home already, so we can move on from here. I get that Sawyer has a death wish, and Charlie acts like a heroin addict. Wow.
I was talking to some folks last night who were like, oh, really? Because I was talking about that specifically, and I said, yeah, some people told me that season 4 was really bad. I was like,
what?
I know. I said, so tell me, these people who told you that, were they by any chance either teenage girls or the type of people that tend to like more romance-oriented type TV? Well, yeah, they said they were really upset that there wasn't enough of the love triangle going on. I was like, if that's what you're watching Lost for, you are always watching the wrong show.
They can get that wrapped up and put away fast. For my taste.
Season 4 is the best season of that show.
I'm pretty much the only holdout so far, aren't I?
No, Kristen hasn't watched it.
I was going to say, right now I'm feeling like the last human alive at the end of Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Kayla, defend yourself.
More like at the end of Omega Man.
One time, during season 1, this guy was like, they're like, you're banished, and he took his suitcase and he walked to the other side of the island. I was like, this show's dumb. I'm done. And so
why did that bother you?
Are you talking about Saeed? He wasn't banished. He felt bad because he tortured someone.
Yeah.
He did. He banished himself.
He banished himself.
So is it not shocking that she likes Fight Club?
Okay, maybe it's a little more shocking now. I'm just saying.
Like I said,
okay.
I didn't have TV for a long time, and
Yeah.
Hulu only was invented a couple.
Lost
years
is one of
ago,
those
so-
shows that you sit and you watch straight through to get hooked on. I know a lot of people just watch a couple episodes and went like, whatever. If you like, I saw it with Carlisle when the first season was already out, and we sat and be like, yeah, we'll check it out. See, everybody says it's good. Watched the first episode, and we were up for the rest of the night. We were up till the sun came
Yeah,
up just
it's-
watching episodes.
It's very cracky, and I knew it would be, and that's one of the reasons that I have kind of avoided for so long, because I knew it would be a time suck, and this was perfect timing. Nakata, who's one of our members, very nicely sent me the season 1 as his drug dealer
As
package.
any good
to
drug
me.
dealer would.
Any drug dealer would. And this was a little while ago, and I was like, all right, I know that. The bars that I work at are pretty much going to go into like low maintenance mode, and I'm going to have a lot of time off for the holidays. So that's what I'll do. I'll just plug away. And so
Kayla, for the love of Grant, are you going to dive back into Lost at some point?
I don't know. Harris is all excited now. He's like, "Wow, I'm on the end of the world. Haven't seen Lost with just me and Kayla. This is very exciting."
Yes, no?
It depends if it shows up in my house and it's.
Be strong. Be strong.
But sure, I'd watch it, but I'm not gonna buy it or anything.
Well, you don't have to with this crowd. We all own it.
not only that, for anybody who's listening to this, if you have Netflix, all of the seasons are on Netflix, commercial free. So have
streaming, right?
Yeah. I finished season 1 and I went right into season 2, no pauses, just watching it on Netflix.
And there goes the last of my resistance.
Which does totally remind me, someone posited on one of our podcasts recently or one of ours or one of Akoko's, that we have too much product placement here. Here's what product placement is.
That
You
means we get
paid to mention a product. So far, that has never happened on Spill.com.
and you do realize the what's the word I'm looking for? It's something about. Oh, I know, the stupidity of saying, well, we have too much product placement. That's what we do.
That's
we
what pop
recommend
culture
stuff.
is.
Yeah, we're geeking out about things. I mean, yeah, it'd be great if Joss Whedon was cutting me a check every other week, but that's not happening.
We're all collectible whores.
If enough people write in, we'll do the Leog cosmology and eschatology episode, but I really don't think we're going to get as many viewers as we will.
How about
for
scatology?
For the scatology.
Okay, from now on, we will discuss only sci-fi in generics. Yeah, I like the show with the girl who does the thing.
The only thing we've benefited from is from Round Rock, Texas. We have Rogues Gallery representative Randy.
Rogues Gallery Comics and Games around
Okay, to be
I don't
fair,
even know what it is.
To be fair,
okay,
that
that
is
is product
kind of product placement, yeah, because that's self-serving
so,
for one of our
yeah.
members. So, but
we
other
had-
than that,
but now we're stuck with Randy because of it.
It's true.
He is
That was
such
all we got paid.
He is such a whore.
It's true.
well, he does keep bringing us comics, so
Oh yeah, there's that.
it all works out. Randy, what'd you
All
do
I
for
got was
Christmas?
a little piece of leftover finger cake. Fuck you.
Don't Google finger cake either, kids.
I don't even know what that means.
For God's sake, don't ever try to spit roast finger cake. It'll all end in tears.
What'd you do for Christmas, Randy?
Well, I was sick the day before and day after, which was just a real treat. But thankfully, that it gave me a reprieve on Christmas Eve, and spent it with my family. My sister was in town, and we had a bunch of kids, and that was a lot of fun. And then did the Santa thing with my kids and the next morning. And
Did you dress up?
no, I did not.
See, that's the only reason I would ever want to have kids is just for Christmas. Because
Yeah?
I mean, kids make Christmas fun. I mean, that's
It's
what
true.
It's about.
Yeah, it is true. Although the thing is, kids also can be specifically ungrateful
Oh yeah.
for Santa presents because they don't necessarily know they're insulting the person who got the presents.
Mhm.
So they'll look at the thing like, I didn't really want that, but oh yes, whatever, I guess, all right.
So you really can't take it to heart when your daughter at age 7 says, "God, Santa's a cheap fucker."
She says that all the
Mommy,
time.
Is Santa Jewish?
Wow.
I'm a
Wow. Well, Santa works for a living. What do you do?
I'm 20%, okay? I can say that. I consulted Jerry Seinfeld, and he said,
well,
okay, you can make Jew jokes.
Yeah, he only works once a year, like you, Daddy.
Yeah. I never actually dressed up as. Did anybody actually dress up as Santa for any occasion? Ever have to do that or want?
Not for Christmas.
Once when I robbed a bank.
My lawyer advises me not to answer that question.
Yeah, me neither. I once came down a chimney, but that was about the extent of it. Anyway, Fish, what did you do?
I don't want to go there.
Stop.
I pretty much slept all of Christmas because, like, woke up, I got a whole bunch of gift certificates, mostly to Austin Books, and so I was like, God damn it,
Oh, nice.
fucking be the 26th already so I can go down to Austin Books and
Dude, you better
buy
go
some
tomorrow.
shit.
Big sale.
Really?
25% off, right?
But tomorrow.
Shit,
we're
I've already spent it all.
Oh, that's too bad.
Oh well. But and then I came over here, watched the second half of Die Hard, and really that's it. I slept most of Christmas.
Didn't that look great on the HD? I haven't seen that in the uncut version since it came out. I've only seen it on TNT and stuff, so I was like, wow, I forgot what this was like with all the cussing and everything.
Yippee-ki-yay, mother haver.
Exactly. Well, except for seeing occasional clips on YouTube or something, but you know.
So I want to know what Fish got for. What'd you get at Austin Books?
I got the trade of Incognito.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh.
That's a
Very
good one.
nice.
Okay, yeah. I know. I thought you were talking about the criminal one. They put out that hardback. criminal
The special
one.
edition.
Oh,
That thing's
God,
great.
I'm
that's
drawing
so
a
bad.
blank. What's Incognito?
It's
the-
Ed Brubaker.
And
It's
Sean Phillips.
Oh shit! Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
book.
Yeah.
I caught up in all the issues that I haven't been able to buy since I've been at SCAD. So Walking Dead, Invincible, Unknown Soldier. I don't remember if I got some more Blackest Night stuff. A little bit of Punisher, and really that's it.
Okay, fair enough.
That's a lot.
So,
And I also did buy myself the Darwin Cook, the Hunter, the
Hell
Daffodil
yeah.
Pirates.
nice.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Very good choice.
Which is a good leaping off point for us to go to what was the best piece of loot or pieces of loot you got this Christmas? I'm going to start this out and say they were both from Mary, my lovely Mary, who got me not only the Wire complete box set, which people have been bitching at me for years. Why aren't you watching The Wire? It's the best show on television.
And she also got you the Dalek-shaped strap-on, right?
No, that was your dream again. I keep telling you.
Penetrate!
She got me a stuffed cat bus from My Neighbor Totoro, which completes my collection of accessories to the My Neighbor Totoro film.
And in no way is that gay.
No way. No.
Yeah, I was gonna say the strap-on sounded less gay.
Harris, what about you?
Well, let's see. The best one that I got that I have to admit I was not expecting was a bottle of Pappy Van Winkle, which is 23-year-old
Kids, don't Google Pappy Van Winkle.
And spit roast together. Don't do it.
cask-aged bourbon, and I thought I knew what love was until I drank this stuff, and oh God,
I want you to show me.
exactly. It's like drinking an 80s power ballad. It's amazing. I also got a copy of Batman Arkham Asylum, which I already had, but fortunately, sweet talking the girl at Best Buy meant that I got to turn that in for credit, and instead ended up getting Rock Band 2.
Oh,
Nice.
You've one of us. One of us. What about you, Leon?
Well, all my best gifts came from the Spill guys.
Oh.
I mean, starting with Jason giving me the Power Records Captain America and the Falcon, the one I remember from when I was a kid.
Jason was a hell of a gift giver.
Where
this
did you
year.
get that, by the way?
Yeah.
I had to do a lot of digging. I ultimately found that one, I think, on Amazon, but took some internet sleuthing.
I am way impressed with that and just love it. I'm going to have to buy a turntable so I can listen to it again.
I have it on MP3, dude.
Okay. Oh, well
if you
then,
want,
yes,
not
yes,
that-
but
not
by
that
all
way.
means. By all means.
I never did grab that from you when you lived here.
Yeah,
I gotta get
I've
that.
got a lot of the old Power Record MP3s.
Okay.
They're
Oh, sweet.
awesome.
Yeah, Corey got us all gift certificates to Domi, the indie comic book shop.
I felt so bad for him. Too.
I did too, because
was
he's all.
all- yeah.
After we gave him our gifts, he was all like, "I got to get you guys something better," and we're like, "Don't worry about it. No, my gift's lame. I'll get you something better."
I was like, I haven't been there yet, but I'm sure it's cool. I don't know.
It's great, and their art gallery is amazing. I love it.
I'm looking forward to going. I just haven't had
no,
a
me
chance
too.
yet.
Wait,
Although
what
I
is
think
this?
I may have lost
I gotta
some
know about
art.
this.
I haven't even heard of this.
A bookstore called
It's on the
Domi.
east side.
They're like
and,
art and
and books. They have lots of anthology and lots of zines and things like that.
Oh,
It's
real-
like a
and-
comic book store, but for adults.
And
yeah,
the
that's
art,
our friend Mark has all his stuff.
and the art they have there is
No,
amazing.
I'm looking forward to checking it out. Carlisle got me the third season of the original Star Trek on Blu-ray. So now I have completed the set.
I can't believe you're ahead of me on Star Trek.
He got me the second. He gave me season 2 and now season 3. So
Yeah,
like,
there you go.
but the reason Cyrus brings this up because if I haven't mentioned it like 50 times already,
You don't have to say
he
it
is the
again.
greatest gift giver that I've ever met. At least maybe you just have a simpatico with me, but dude, somehow every year, whenever you give me something, it's like the thing I wanted most that I only barely spoke to myself that I wanted most. And Cyrus got me the big, thick compendium of The Walking Dead.
Nice.
And
That's right. I forgot
man,
about that.
I just love that thing. I mean, I've had to make myself stop reading it because when I start, I'll go until 4 in the morning. And I
You're
still gotta
easy
wake
to
up and
buy
go to work next day.
for you because all I do is look at your wish list and I think, what is the item on this expansive wish list that I would most want? And I just buy that.
Well, it worked. Well, but even before there was an Amazon wish list, you were doing that.
Yeah, that's true. I'm good. You're right.
No, you're the best.
Which is, once again, not to put down Jason because he got me Assassin's Creed 2, and
Ooh,
wow,
sweet.
is that an amazing?
I've heard
fucking
amazing
video
things
game.
about that.
Holy shit!
Can't wait to play it.
So awesome.
And you are, of course, welcome over anytime to
Oh,
join.
I'm going to take you up on that real soon.
But what did you get, Jason? What was your big gifts this year?
I got a couple of big and small ones. My pharmacist refilled my Vicodin prescription, which is pretty cool.
They should really. You should just make an infused. You should just make an infused vodka with that.
Oh my god,
God, did you just see his eyes light up?
that's awesome. Vicodin, yeah.
Vicodin.
I've got the recipe in the mason jar.
Yeah, I got a great. These are just the ones that are jumping to mind right now. Of course, there are many others, and I apologize for overlooking any of them. But got a great bottle of gin from Leon, which is already gone, but I still have the glasses.
Well, good. It was very pretty, so I hope you held on to
I still have the glasses, and I get a new Blu-ray player, which I guess will go in the bedroom or the office or something. I got a collection of H.P. Lovecraft stories that I've wanted for a while. It's just a little cheap paperback thing, but it's got all of his good ones in there. It's Blood-Curdling Tales of the Macabre or something like
Indeed,
that. So
yes.
yeah, it's got a lot of the classics in there. So yeah, Vicodin, Blu-ray, and Lovecraft.
There you go.
Merry fucking Christmas.
That's always a sign of a true hardcore movie geek these days, is that you own 2 things that'll play Blu-ray, even if you don't need 2 things that'll play
Oh,
Blu-ray.
yeah.
You're like, well, what if one guy craps out?
Yeah.
It's like me with VHS players.
Yeah, right.
Oh, there was a time back in the day I had like 4 VHS players because you were like, it's on sale, I better get it. You never know.
Kayla, what about you? What'd you get?
I'll just say the best thing that I got, other than my house getting painted, which is an ongoing present that my mom's giving me, I got
That's pretty
these
awesome.
really beautiful crystal dishes for hot dogs. Like, they're in the shape of a hot dog.
Oh, you're going to have to explain that. What?
And see, this is why I'm not surprised that she likes Fight Club, because you do not define any parameters around Kayla.
That's true.
My aunt she's an antique shopper, and she knows I like to bake and cook, and so she always finds really interesting dishware for me. And there's these old dishes, and they're crystal, and they look like they're perfect for a hot dog or a banana split, and I love them.
That's pretty cool, actually. I like that. Can you imagine? Next time you have a barbecue at your house, I am there. I want to be served up a hot dog in a crystal tray.
Kids, don't Google hot dog in a crystal tray.
Please, God, just make sure your safe search is on.
Grant.
All right, Grantley Mandingo. What did you get?
Right after that. I've made the big switch from Wii. I've ditched the Wii, and now I have a PS3, one of the new ones.
Hooray.
So I am pretty excited about that. I've been borrowing games from Cyrus and playing them nonstop. And I beat this game, Portal, already, which was really fun. And I'm 70% through Arkham Asylum, which is awesome. And I get where all the hype came from.
It's a little different, isn't it? Because I like the Wii. I genuinely like the Wii, but I so rarely actually play it. But with the PlayStation, it's hard to not play it.
Oh, it's so engaging, and it doesn't feel kind of dumbed down in a kiddie level. Not that it's bad, because I love the Wii games, but it's nice to play one where you can shove your fist in someone's face in the game.
Well, the PlayStation games are immersive, and the Wii games are not. It's
Although
different.
I was surprised to find that Arkham Asylum is so story-driven. Like, it's a lot of me kind of sitting there waiting, like, having them kind of talk me through the story, when I'm just like, I just want to punch people. I have to go through all these other obstacles and find these certain rooms.
And much
All
like
right.
I'd hoped, they've announced that the Arkham Asylum 2 does in fact take place just in the city of Gotham, which was always like, my one problem with that game is it's just so restrained in the one area. I'm like, I don't understand why this game isn't totally sandbox. It feels like it should be. And that apparently
the
is where
place
they're going
felt
with the
huge.
next one. So.
I think the map
It
was
is
fine.
big, but it just, even so, it's like it still feels like maybe just a little too restrained. Feels like a game that would have been more comfortable set in a more like, here's the whole map like Grand Theft Auto style.
I
where
kind
you
of
have to
liked it
find
being
your-
that closed in. Like you
Yeah.
have nowhere to
Yeah,
run.
me
The
too.
Joker,
like you're in an
the Joker
asylum.
has
No, I'm just saying.
No, it's like a panopticon. The Joker knows where you are, except for the secondary Batcave that you had the foresight to plan.
Right.
Kids, you can Google Panopticon, and you really should.
Not to delve too much into this topic, but I just read an article that was talking about how all the Spider-Man games can really learn so many things from Arkham Asylum, and one of them was in particular that you have a much more restricted area of where you can play within, whereas they have the entire Manhattan mapped out.
Yeah.
And this one, you're really set and you're stuck on this island, and yet they had so much that you could do within it. I thought it was really neat.
Yeah, it is a fantastic game, one of the best of the year.
Yeah, well, I think all superhero games could learn from Arkham Asylum because it captured Batman the way no game has.
Yeah, and there have been no end to Batman games. They just all kind of
suck.
Yeah.
I mean, they got everything. It's not just that you're a badass fighter, you're a detective, you're scary as hell. I mean, they got everything about being Batman. If you do the same thing with Iron Man or Spider-Man or anything like that and just approach from that point of view, you'd have a kick-ass game.
I love that you can upgrade the character without you feeling like he was such a weak fighter in the beginning. I mean, he was strong.
Right. No,
he
he's
was
great
great
at the beginning.
And all the upgrades just help you be more fluid as you move along.
Yeah.
It's a great game.
So that wasn't really a Christmas present though. That was it? You bought that for yourself.
Well, it's kind of a Christmas gift for myself.
I'm just saying. Now, what did you get? That was awesome.
I got a couple trades of some comics. Marvels. I finally got the League of Extremely Ordinary Gentlemen, which
nice.
I've read, but I had it on my wish list, so I got it. My parents like doing this thing of they kind of they'll buy me one of my geeky things they're kind of unsure about, but they'll also get me some, like they got me a really nice dress up shirt, and then they got me some Green Lantern cufflinks to go with it.
Oh,
so they're like,
nice.
yeah, you guess you can wear that nerdy cufflinks with that shirt, but look at that shirt, it's a really nice shirt.
Soon you'll be able to wear long pants. You won't have to go around everywhere in knickers.
Like, if you need to have that geeky thing, at least wear it with this really nice shirt. Like, thanks, Mom and Dad.
Little Grant Fauntleroy.
No, I'd say those Green Lantern cufflinks are really nice, actually. They're cool.
So those are pretty cool.
Hint, hint, hint.
In case you don't totally love them the way maybe, I don't know, someone else in the room sitting directly to your left does.
No, I love them. Tough shit. Bo, what did you get?
I got a very nice digital point and shoot camera that because mine, I had a nice one, but it kind of went tits up this year, so this was a very nice upgrade. That was the big gift from Mom, and she also got me a couch, a very small couch, which I've needed because I've pretty much been treating my living room as a study, and it's nice to be able to sit on a couch and watch things instead of being in an office chair. Let's see what else I got a little grab bag full of DVDs that my mom got me off my personal wish list. She got me the Warner Brothers Marx Brothers collection, which completes my Marx Brothers movie collection because I've got both of them now. And I got the Hill, which is probably my favorite Sean Connery movie. Sidney Lumet. Yeah, most people don't know.
Never even heard of it.
It's amazing. It's black and white World War II prison camp drama, and it's just amazing. It's him, Ossie Davis, a bunch of other British character actors, and it's just, by all means, if you get the chance to check it out, check it out.
Damn, that's pretty kick-ass.
Yeah.
Christmas there. So, Randy, what's your best gift?
My best gift, my mother-in-law, who likes to spend a lot of money on me, which is nice. I had a thing on my list that I never thought. I was like, I posted it to my Facebook. They're these big headphones for your Xbox. That's like they're like wireless, and they've got game sound and chat sound and all this stuff, and really, really swanky. And I was like, yeah, if I had an extra $100 or so, I'd buy these for myself, but I'll never have an extra $100. So my wife sent that to her mom, and she got me those. So I have these badass headphones for my Xbox now that I can play at like 3 in the morning without waking up the entire house, and yet have Left 4 Dead cranked up so high that I hear zombies all around.
Yeah,
me.
you're one of those guys now.
Oh, yeah.
That is the most awesome domesticated gift ever.
Honestly, like if I knew the richest people in the world who just bought you extravagant gifts for Christmas, have you seen that thing that's just the total comfort gaming chair, where it's like the whole thing like it comes down on you like Darth Vader's little egg chamber.
That's awesome.
And then, with your laptop
amazing.
screen or whatever it is, and you're like, oh, big comfy lazy boy chair with a built-in vibration, and I'm like, yeah, I would sell everything.
That's
I own
all-
for
Does
that.
it
Yeah,
eventually like sprout needles that provide you nutrients and water?
That's a good idea. Someone should suggest that to that company.
See, all that's going to happen with that is that nerds are going to buy that, and eventually we're going to be an endangered species because we're all going to die of starvation from playing in that thing.
What a way to go.
You can put a semen harvester in it, and hey, then it'll be even more interactive.
No. See, that way the hippies, we keep them around. They can ride their bikes and deliver the nutrient tanks from house to house.
If I can have a game machine that while I'm playing Left 4 Dead 2, quote unquote, harvests my semen, it's gonna make crack look like fucking Sanka.
Yeah, except all your fantasies are going to be of smokers.
Gonna be. You seen the tongues on those things?
But beyond that, I also got some DVDs. I finally got Band of Brothers, which I've seen,
nice.
but have not rewatched in a long time.
And just in time, too, because they're getting ready to start doing that sort of
Pacific
sequel
Theater,
series.
yeah.
with,
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing a
Looks
Pacific
fantastic.
Theater one.
Yeah.
That,
Oh, right on.
And then Inglourious Bastards, which I'm looking forward to seeing again. So.
I enjoyed it considerably more the second time, but I do completely agree with what Leon just posted on his Twitter recently, which is about the ending, which is like, look, that's just cheating.
It is cheating.
That's a Kirk at the Kobayashi Maru that you pulled there.
Yeah, you're killing Hitler. People are like, oh, he had the balls to kill Hitler. I was like, that's not ballsy. Anybody could have done that.
You
It's just like,
realize you just earned your nickname.
wait, what is it?
Way to bait,
Oh, give me a
way to
break.
bait him into it, you bastard.
I know, I totally did too. I wanted to see if he'd do it.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah. There's a lot of people out there who haven't
It's been
seen-
out for 6
It's
months.
on
Have you
DVD.
ever-
No, they
It's fair
they
game.
don't kill Hitler. They actually kill Dumbledore. Which
Dumbledore-
is really awesome. They say, "Take that, fag," and they just beat the living snot.
Dumbledore was the secret power behind the Third Reich.
No, it turns out that Winston Churchill was Hitler. They were the same person the whole time.
I'm
gonna have to go back.
It was kind of awesome when he pulled off his mask. I fooled you all, dumbcops!
Fish, what did you get?
Still, the favorite thing I've gotten, it was ordered before Christmas and still hasn't come, is the Rocketeer
The chest
Deluxe.
chair finally
I was-
came in.
Well, we're trying with the whiskey, but nothing yet.
The Merkin came in.
Oh, let's not make fun of Fish. It's Christmas time.
It was
Save that
Christmas.
till after
Christmas
he
is
leaves.
over.
Whoa,
This is a new
I'm sorry,
year.
I'm sorry. First off, when did he go back to fish? Because I thought he was the fisherman.
Yeah, well.
I demoted him.
That's my... Okay, I'll take
I thought
that as
we
a Christmas
vetoed that.
present that I'm not called that shit anymore.
I still
I'm
like
sorry,
fish stick.
I totally stepped on your Dave Stevens Rocketeer.
No, just I've mentioned it like I've managed to
That's-
cram it in here.
That's true, yeah. So let's move on.
Who
Yeah,
else
30th Rock On?
Randy was talking about how you got that too, didn't you?
I bought that for myself actually
Yeah.
before Christmas, but yeah, it's spectacular.
I had no idea people were that excited about the Rocketeer. Other than
Dave
that.
Stevens'
Stevens'
artwork.
amazing.
is-
Yeah, his
it's
artwork
fantastic.
is he was way before his time. I mean, he's got this absolutely gorgeous line work you just don't see in a lot of artists.
You know
these
that
days.
big boobs thing in comics? He kind of started that.
Yeah, no, the Rocketeer is truly it's one of those things that like came around the 80s and was one of those comics everybody loved. I mean, a lot of the artists were really influenced by it, I think.
The other thing is he also almost single-handedly reignited the Betty Page obsession.
Yeah, she
Oh,
became
no.
friends with him.
There's no
yeah.
almost to that. There
Yeah.
would be no Betty Page obsession without Dave.
Yeah,
Stevens.
she had
Really?
disappeared
Okay.
into obscurity. She became friends with him later in life and was basically credited him with bringing her back to the public
And
stage.
he found her in Bo's basement.
No, that was a hooker that looked exactly like her.
Oh.
Well, it's, the whole thing originally started as police photos leaking to out to the press. They thought they were fashion, and there you go. It's just happy accident.
They were fashion of a kind.
Good job, Bo.
It's bondage even if you're not consenting.
Yeah, take that, Stevens.
So that was your
Where's
favorite.
my box set?
That was your favorite present, Fish.
Hopefully it'll actually be shipped to my house before I leave for SCAD.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
So, Cyrus, you already mentioned that you got the Assassin's Creed, but what else did you get?
Oh, I started. Remember, I said I got the Wire box set.
I
and-
wasn't really listening.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's nothing new. I figured.
So is it time for best of 2009?
Yeah, let's just actually go around and it can be anything. It can be video game, movie, MP3 or an album,
Comic
whatever.
books.
And we'll just comic books, and we'll just start going around one at a time and have everybody name something. I am going to abstain from the movie part because I've been posting one a day of mine, and by the time this comes out, I won't be up to the top 3 or so. But I can talk about other stuff. So let's just start with Harris.
Well, for comic books, it's still ongoing, but it just the most upcoming Blackest Night 6 just proved it. Blackest Night is, for my money, one of the best comics of 2009.
I thought 5, the last issue, was kind of weak.
It was it was setting things up. Blackest Night 6 hit the internet early. It hits stores as we're recording this tomorrow, which is unfortunately a skip week apparently.
So it's out on the internet. Randy, I won't be coming in tomorrow.
Damn you, Harris!
But the last page, I'm not going to spoil anything. All I will say is, if you don't pump your fist and say, fuck yeah, you're not a comics fan.
And Blackest Night has been pretty reliably awesome all the way through, in my opinion.
Yeah,
every issue of the main book has been very, last page, wow.
I think Blackest Night alone and that whole run up to it, I would say that DC is winning the DC versus Marvel of 2009.
They've been pasting Marvel around the block like a $2 hooker for about 2 years now.
Yeah, it was touch and go with Infinite Crisis, but they've definitely pulled ahead with this one.
They don't even need to pull the whole Batman story in order to show how badass they are. Blackest Night alone proves Dark Reign horrible.
It's not horrible.
Yeah, it's not horrible. It's funny you guys are talking about this. I was thinking over the weekend about the problem I have with DC Comics lately. And it seems to be for so long there was always the idea, everyone had this shared idea that DC's fine, but Marvel has the darker stories. They're more edgy, they're more, realistic. And so DC has decided, especially over the last 5 or 10 years, to have really dark stories. But they've been so dark, I almost feel like they're kind of out of character. Going all the way back to Identity Crisis with Jean Loring committing this hideous murder, which it was always something about it that bugged me, and I never really put a finger on it until this weekend. And it's almost like having her do that is not just kind of out of character, it's really out of character. It's like committing a heinous murder like this, which has been going on all the way up to Red Arrow getting his arm torn off, because that was the thing that got me thinking about it. It's these are things that are uncharacteristic of everything they've done in the past, and you can't have somebody the idea that one of us would go so psychotic that we murder another member in this room.
That is
Everybody's
totally feasible.
happened
Everybody's
several
looking at
times.
Jason,
Yeah.
right?
No, but maybe you should quietly look to your right,
All right.
and then always keep one eye in that direction.
We're gonna draw straws to see who gets raped and who gets their arm ripped off.
My problem when you compare the two is
Should've
that
gone.
Marvel has ended up becoming the company that's okay, it's another massive crossover. Is this the one where we kill a woman, or is it the one where we kill a minority?
Right, at DC, there's just rape and mutilation.
Marvel's crossovers just, exactly. They're not as impressive. I don't have the back history that Leon has.
Well, I'm not
DC,
so much
but I
making
love
this
it.
a Marvel versus DC, because Marvel has had plenty of fumbles over the last few years, especially with crossovers. Crossovers was never really their thing, and so far they still haven't got it right. World War Hulk is about the best they've ever done. All
I
these
don't know.
others are just
I think you have to
clumsy.
argue Civil War, at least on a commercial level. It does seem to be just beloved and.
Yes, but we here in this room are the experts, and we
Well,
all
no,
know.
I'm with you. I'm totally with you.
We all know where that went wrong. How right it started out.
Yeah.
All the places where it was good, and how they really dropped the ball toward the end.
And one thing about Darkest Reign, to go off on a bit of a tangent, which we should probably cover in a separate episode at some point, but it's the timing of the tie-ins is so completely screwed up. It's I don't care. This is kind of a spoiler for those of you that haven't read the comics in the last couple of weeks, but the big return of Steve Rogers as Captain America.
Yeah.
I'm reading some issue of something. I'm like, oh, I guess he's back. And then like a week or two later, they have, guess what? Steve Rogers is back. I'm like, yeah, no shit. I've been reading the comics for the past 2 weeks.
Yep, that's all down to Brian Hitch, by the way. That's
Yeah,
Capricorn
he's
being
really
delayed.
slow.
Yeah.
How did you not see that coming? I don't know. I mean, they hired Brian Hitch for it. Come on, it's gonna be late.
And at the same time, the news is how Grant Morrison is bringing Bruce Wayne back as Batman.
Wow.
Traveling
Really?
through time.
Grant Morrison is doing it.
I mean,
because he
what-
did such a great job the last time he did Batman.
It's hilarious how apparently Bruce Wayne and Steve Rogers were both traveling through time while their sidekicks took over their identity and now are ready to relinquish them back at the same time.
But at the same time, the sketches I've seen of the Batman traveling through time, they look really cool.
That they
also,
You have him as caveman Batman. You have him as pirate Batman.
Dude, they
I
almost
don't know.
always-
I think that's fun.
They always get cool
No.
artists to work with Morrison. I just don't like what he writes for these characters.
as a quick
I don't buy
aside.
Elseworlds, so why fold these Elseworlds into the real continuity?
Yeah.
What you said is wrong, Grant. Wrong. That's something you do with action figures, and that's all well and good. If you want to have Colonial Days Batman, then fucking buy him a tricorn hat. That's all well and good. But I don't need to see it in the fucking comic book.
What were you about to say, Randy?
Well, I was gonna say something else, but now I gotta go. I'm with Grant. Those sketches look fucking awesome. But
He's got a giant prehistoric bat that he killed and is wearing as his cowl.
Yeah. Now I should
That's
say
cool.
they have
And
said
then they've
that
got
was
Cat
actually
and Bat Sparrow.
concept
I'm all
sketches.
over that shit.
What
Those
bothers
were
me,
just concept sketches. They're not actually gonna be in the book, as it turns
what bothers
out.
me is the idea that the
yeah.
guy's in prehistoric times trying to figure out how to go forward in time, and he takes the time to hunt down a bat for his cowl. He's like, well, you know what? What's most important is I look good, because I wouldn't want any dinosaurs knowing my secret
You know,
identity.
he's a little
It
psychotic,
just
right?
attracts
I mean,
bats naturally. It just happens.
Australopithecus is a cowardly and superstitious lot.
This brings me back to what I was going to say, which is if any of you are on Twitter, someone has started. I think it's called it's Time Lost Batman.
Yeah.
And it's Batman tweeting as he goes through time, and it's fucking hysterical.
Wait, what?
Someone is tweeting Batman as he goes from caveman
I thought
times
you were.
through.
I thought you were saying that was happening in the book, like Batman.
No.
Yes, Batman is now on Twitter.
Wow, totally the 15th century
Hey,
smells
Captain America
bad.
got killed because he wasn't on MySpace.
Does he end up at the Enchantment Under the Sea dance?
He's the only person who tweets more than Scott Weinberg, though, I think.
I mean, seriously, hear
No.
that? Like Batman's on Twitter. That's like Batman on OnStar. It's like, why would he want something that tells everybody where the Batcave is?
Exactly.
I'm right outside the Joker's lair right now. I hope nothing goes awry.
Dude, this guy totally can't see me, but I'm hanging right over him.
It's like when Dr. Horrible realizes that Captain Hammer is reading his blog. He's like, ah, fuck.
I can't believe Commissioner Gordon doesn't know I'm Bruce Wayne. We've met like 15 times. What the hell?
You know that, Batgirl? One of these days I'm going to totally tap that.
She won't feel a thing.
We got off on a tangent there, but we're going for one around the room with favorite things of the year. How about you, Leon?
All right, well, I made a list of my top 10 movies. However, you bring up a good point as to why that's probably not the best idea to talk about it here.
Sure.
So I'll move over to TV shows.
Good call.
And I got to say, Lost is so obvious, I won't even bring it up.
No,
But-
you can bring it up.
But it was like, that's the show just like every season gets better. Once you get past the second season, every season gets better and better each time.
Exactly.
much.
So what's number 2?
So number 2 is gonna be Breaking Bad,
Yeah.
which is
Oh,
just
fuck yeah.
amazing.
Hell yeah.
And now they did have a misstep in that they teased something that was gonna happen at the end, and when you actually get to it, to the very end of the last show, it's like, oh, that was actually kind of lame.
I liked it.
Oh, I love that ending.
Really?
Yeah.
Because to me, everything right before that was so fucking amazing.
Yeah. No, I just love the swerve. I didn't see it coming.
The very end episode is a complete 180 that is just uncharacteristic for the rest of the episode.
Yeah, for everything
It's-
they've shown us that season to tease up to like, oh, there's something big, and to see what it is, it's like, oh, that?
Everything is so scientific, and then it all.
It was almost act of God
Spoiler
kind of
alert!
thing.
It all comes down to a complete act of coincidence, which
Yeah.
is just absurd.
Oh, see, now I read that differently. I basically saw that as, without getting too into spoilers, it was basically the whole season's about Walt continually.
Repercussions.
Yeah,
Walt,
repercussions.
Walt,
No,
the things
you're
that
right.
Walt does and doesn't realize how bad he's fucking everybody else up.
That's fine,
And-
but when a plane triggered by.
It's just Grant.
No.
Well, we said spoiler.
I am the spoiler, and I am stopping
That one's
you.
that one's too
They
far.
said
Yeah.
without getting too into spoiler.
All right, fine.
But yeah, I just to me, of all the shows I've watched, all the dramas I've watched outside of Lost, that has been the show. It's that surprise show that so many people don't know about.
Yeah.
And I just want to turn everybody on to. It's like, look, whatever you're doing, stop and watch this show, because it hits on so many. It's the show that's the closest to The Shield, without being anything like The Shield, story-wise.
Isn't there someone related, like connected on some level?
I'm not sure.
A similar actor from it?
Well,
I can think of.
he does bombard the crystal meth with cosmic rays at one point to try to enhance the potency.
The showrunner is Vince Gilligan from the X-Files.
Right.
From the X-Files.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only connection I can think. But yeah, as dramas go, it's that. And comedies, I got to give it up to Community, which to me was funny right out the gate.
Yeah.
And just tends to get better. And while all the shows, all the comedies I love, all the NBC Thursday night comedies, and even Modern Family, which I usually don't watch till Thursday, and even It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which always kicks ass. But
We're supposed to be one thing.
I was about to say, now that you've covered the entire TV season.
Yeah, now that you've ruined TV for everyone else but you.
But I will say, one of the things I really like about Community is it looks like, Chevy Chase has finally accepted his lot in life and decided to go with it, much like Shatner did.
To be
He
a
was like,
second-tier
okay, I'm
player.
kind of a fat joke right now.
Yeah.
Let's see where we can go with that.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see him back in action, man.
Yeah.
I think he's actually not even one of the most standout characters. He's really
No, that's
he's
why
just-
he works.
He's just okay in his role.
No.
I think someone could have done better than him in his role even. But
Really?
I mean, I think some of the other characters are just
It's
perfect
all about
for their
Abed and
roles.
Troy on that show. for
Yeah,
me.
exactly.
Well, I mean,
Those two.
the lead actor, the guy who was
Joel
from
McHale.
Joel McHale, yeah.
Talk Soup, is great. He's
Yeah.
kind of that Bill Murray analog for the sheer actor who
Yeah.
the young Bill Murray.
Which is exactly what Chevy Chase wants to hear.
Well, yeah. Well,
Good point.
it is that kind of thing where, like, wow, if Chevy Chase was 20 or 40 years younger,
Yeah,
he would have
no.
that role.
yeah, that's true.
Exactly. Yeah, he is a lot like the character rather is a lot like Chevy Chase.
But I think
it
that
was
show-
in real life.
And it's of that. There's always they keep experimenting with the Scrubs formula, and it feels like this year that was the big one they experimented with. Like, let's set it this type of jokes in a community college.
Yeah.
And it works. It's funny as hell.
It's a great ensemble. Yeah.
Yeah. Jason.
A few things. One of the big ones that jumps to mind, comics. Try to stick to that. Well, I won't. But Darwin Cook's The Hunter, which was brought up
Yes.
recently.
Oh yes.
Yeah, huge fan of that. And I know this is going to sound geeky, but it is so fucking good. G.I. Joe Cobra by Christos Gage.
Yeah.
Little limited series. It really takes kind of a B or C level G.I. Joe character and turns it into the Bourne Identity, which shows the human toll that being an undercover mole takes in a terrorist organization.
Was it Crimson Guards?
Kind of. That comes
Yeah.
up. It's really
It's
good.
actually
It's
Yeah,
so,
no, it's making everybody's like top 10.
Yeah.
it's so damn dark.
the lead guy is Chuckles, the guy with the Hawaiian shirt from
Yeah.
the old. I mean, and
Really?
it is-
Wow.
it is as dark. I mean, in ways, it's as dark as say Sleeper
Yeah.
by Brubaker.
And to
Phillips.
see
It's-
this beat the hell out of him, he's got to
Oh,
make.
yeah.
Do they
he's
bring
gotta
the
make some-
balloon bear back? Because that'd be awesome.
He's got to make some gut wrenching choices.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really damn good. But aside from that, Walking Dead, which is still stellar, got a little wacky with the governor and stuff like that. That was, I guess, around towards 2008 or something like that. But
That was towards the end of 2008.
yeah, but it's redeemed itself, and it's still every time you think it can't get darker, it does. And Left 4 Dead 2, which is
Indeed.
just
Which
pure,
I don't have an Xbox, so
pure
Go
necrocidal adrenaline.
I want to put you on the spot for a minute, Jason, and say, because you're always so good at this, what was the single worst piece of entertainment that came out this year in any field?
Oh, New Moon.
Oh,
sorry, you asked Jason.
You have no control over that one.
And Leon, you're completely wrong on that.
Did you see Transformers 2 by chance?
Wolverine Origin.
No,
As
no.
Wolverine was.
New Moon.
didn't sparkle.
New
Yeah.
Moon was worse.
No. No.
Wolverine applied to us. We weren't ever Twilight fans.
I'm gonna go with the tried and true Jason answer. Harry Potter.
Really, Jason? Really? The worst thing that came out this year?
No, but I
He
like saying it.
just
Didn't
tried
you
to
grow up with crappy
infuriate.
80s cartoons, and aren't you like hurt by Transformers 2?
Oh
Because
god.
you know what Transformers needed? Big swinging balls.
Yeah. Transformers 2. God, there's so much shit. I mean, the fact that Peter's not with Mary Jane yet, that's still a bad one. That still sticks in my craw a little bit. Transformers 2, New Moon, G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe was excellent.
G.I. Joe was fun.
Okay.
That was one of the best movies this year.
I didn't
How
see
many
it.
times could you possibly work at knowing's half the battle into one scene?
Honestly, in like retrospect more, I'm like, you know what? It wasn't that bad. Even when we reviewed it, we were like, I want to hate this because it is garbage, but it's such likable
Dude,
garbage.
You
I'll
know,
hate it
you
for
know
you.
how easy it is for me to fall asleep at those midnight
Yeah,
screenings.
yeah.
And I went in going like, I'm gonna sleep through this.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I didn't. I just stayed up watching. I'm like, this is terrible, and yet it is so much fun.
Yeah,
I
it's
can't take my
just
eyes
junk
off of
food.
it.
I've got my answer. You know what I'm going to say.
No?
The goddamn Jersey Shore.
Oh, boy.
You are high. That thing is awesome. It is the greatest train wreck known to man.
I want to crack their skulls open and
One of
fuck
them did
their
it for you.
exposed
Did you
brains.
not see Snooki get taken across the face?
I did, and she wasn't taken across the face with a pickaxe.
I'm going to agree with Jason just based on the trailers. Commercials alone made my gag reflex start activating.
I love the fact that there is a guy on the show. He calls himself the Situation. He also calls his abs the Situation.
The situation is going to be the napalm enema that they all get if I ever make it up to Jersey.
What does he call his dick? Little Situation?
I don't know, but he calls hooking up with chicks the Situation.
The
There is one
Situation.
part, and I am not exaggerating. He says this: the Situation got in the tub with these two chicks, and they knew the Situation was on, and then I showed them the Situation, and we knew that it was going to be banging. There was going to be the Situation.
Yeah, look.
He actually
Anybody,
said this.
anybody who speaks of themselves in the third person, whether they're assuming a name or not, deserves to die. I have a very simple equation for all the people up there on the eastern seaboard who might encounter this fucking douche mook. Hair gel is fucking flammable.
Yeah.
Take and enjoy.
Now,
Grant doesn't agree with that.
Well, no, wait a minute,
Now, listen-
Bo.
listen.
Bo, I've heard you say that before, and you usually say it like, well, you know what Bo always says.
listen, everyone, could you just moment of silence? Everyone, link hands.
But that's only when I'm in a fugue state.
Link hands, bow your heads. Just want to say a quick prayer. God, I take back everything I said about Jeff Loeb and Joe Quesada. Please allow them to live so long as you kill the Jersey Shore with locusts.
I got an email from
Amen.
Nate this week who said, I offered him my room to stay in when he comes to the spill party this year, and he sent me a long email. Oh, thank you so much. Y'all talked about in the last Leog that you were going to do that. I thought you were just talking shit. I was like, no, by all means. And he said he's bringing a bunch of Loeb written comic books for us to burn.
Awesome!
Oh, hell yes.
I'll bring the camera.
And
Because we're running out.
Dibs on the Red Hulk.
Kayla, what
Well,
about
he's
you?
wrong about the worst thing that came out this year.
Yeah, what would it be then?
After last season, which I saw in the
Oh,
theater.
God, yeah, Carlisle was suffering through that today.
He
and
watched
that
it on
was-
DVD. I saw it in the theater.
What is it called? After
After
last?
last
Yeah, what is it?
season,
Okay, after that last season is what it's kind of like The Room, where it's made by these people who are most likely smuggling money, because like the budget's like $6 million and it's made with cardboard and paper, like because
Kind of like a Leog.
and
Shh, don't move. You look now. You got to get some more chewing gum, Grant. Stick that back together.
it is insane. It only played in 4 theaters, and then
Wow.
Was
The-
Tommy
but
Wiseau
then-
involved in this?
the distributor told the theaters just to burn the reels so that they didn't have to pay for shipping.
Yeah.
Hey,
Get them back.
could you burn those reels? Because what am I doing? We're laundering money.
No, I couldn't believe it when I heard that. I'd heard it was that bad, but then they actually said just destroy them. Nobody cares.
But
Those
I
are
had
fun.
friends who were trying to save them, and because like they have like this huge fan club, and if you've seen it, you get to be a part of the fan
Only
club.
you would know people who were in the fan club for the movie you yourself admit was the worst piece of entertainment to come out this year.
Well,
And-
it's kind of like going to Nam.
You couldn't. You could not get
you didn't
them.
want to go, but you still are buddies with all the people that were there with you.
So what was the best thing?
Yeah, name one of the things in your
she has a
top-up
prodigious
list.
list.
Yeah, I'm sure, but
I'm a list person. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, please let me make another list. I've already put out my best of the decade list.
yes, which I
And-
was shocked how much of it I agreed with you on, honestly, because you always talk about the really goofy stuff that I'm like, are you crazy? That we don't agree on. But then I look at your list, I'm like, wow, this is all good stuff. I almost completely concur with you on 90% of it.
And then Jason was mad at me because he saw, and so was Grant, because they were like, you can't have Kick-Ass on your best of 2009 because it comes out. But I go,
Yeah,
That's cheating.
it's not cheating because it's my life. And in 2009, in my life, I saw it.
They do. That is the prime meridian of box office receipts.
Yeah.
You know, as someone who goes to a lot of these festivals, you should know that as well. I mean, come on, Fantastic Fest. How many movies have you seen before the year it actually came out, and then we're like, well, I'm listing it anyway.
But no one on the podcast can relate because that hasn't come
Well,
out.
it doesn't matter. It's my life.
Yeah.
And so,
And they still haven't
And then-
finished the
I
comic.
was about to say we'll get to see the movie before you get to read the damn comic. Thanks, Mark.
and then I also have my best, because I watch so many movies that aren't new. I also have the best that are not from this decade that I watched for the first time this year. And the top of that list is Poltergeist.
Oh, yeah. I can't believe you saw it. And hell, you were at the Halloween screening last night for our friend Scott's
And it
birthday.
didn't make my top 10.
Well, just that it was the
But
first time you had ever seen it, and I
He
think
was
that's
so excited
awesome.
about that. What?
We're going to take a quick break here, and then we'll get right back to finishing
So
this
Kayla
up.
could organize her notes.
Okay, we're right back. Sorry about that. We had to take an emergency break for reasons that you guys don't need to know about. But Kayla had to leave, and I am so sorry about that, Kayla. She's going to post on her Spill page a link to her list on Facebook with her top of the year.
Wait a minute. It's gonna on Spill. She's gonna post a link to her Facebook.
Yeah, which I said, why
which
don't
will reroute you to her Twitter.
I know. I said, why don't you just post it on Spill?
Yeah, she should just post
I'll
on
just
Spill.
There's a link to my Facebook page on my Spill page. Do you know how to do this? I'll do it. I will do it for you. Anyway, Caleb, if there's any issue with that, if you listen to this, I will do it for you.
I'll
if you're
post it
having
on
trouble
my
figuring
site.
it out. Or yeah, give me your password. I'll put it on your Spill page.
I'll do blog post.
Because people do want to know. Kayla's got a lot of fans, and rightly so, because we do completely and utterly love that girl. Don't we? Right?
Yes.
Come on, back me up, people.
Yeah.
All right. thank
She's
you.
At
awesome.
least until she gets rid of that bed.
Yeah,
We love Kayla.
the Millennium Falcon bed.
Depending on who gets it.
Grant.
Yes. I guess I'm allowed to talk about movies, even though you guys are abstaining, correct?
Yeah, only Leon and I are
Right on.
for
Well,
both.
then let me say District
No, I don't think you should
9
be able to talk about it.
was the most badass movie of the year.
Really, you think that was the number one for you?
It was tough for me. I mean, of comedies, I would say Hangover, but I love District 9 just overall as a film this
Of course,
year.
you haven't seen Avatar yet, so.
I haven't, and I don't think I want to after what my tirade. I'm thinking I should just try and hold off.
Come on.
'cause-
You know what?
Grant,
a stronger.
don't be that way because
Yeah.
Cyrus is something of a gourmand, and he has several sauces that you can eat your words with.
No, you guys are just gonna want to take this dog and rub his nose into shit.
Of course.
really
that's
want it.
odd because that's one of the critical ingredients in one of his sauces.
I don't know. I'm kind of seeing a Clockwork Orange style viewing coming up.
I'm actually seeing me rubbing Grant's nose in his own shit.
No, to be fair, Grant, you shouldn't make that bed if you don't intend on sleeping yet. The possibility that you might have to sleep in
You
it.
know what? All I said was I don't like the special effects. I said
No,
I
dude.
never.
I believe
not all
that
you
far
said.
from all you
I
said.
never said I thought the story would be bad. I never said that. And go if you want to listen
No,
to that
but you
trash,
did-
go ahead and listen to that.
You did
Leon.
absolutely say you thought it was going to be shit on a number of occasions.
No, I said I
It
thought
won't
the
live up to the
special
hype.
effects
Yeah.
looked like ridiculous Smurfs.
That was
Oh,
not
no,
all
I
you
wouldn't
said.
believe
how
it.
funny because while the story won't bowl you over, the special effects definitely.
And to be
will.
honest, if we were only
I know, go figure.
if
That's
we were
what I hear.
only talking about the special effects here, if that was all we were discussing, screw the rest of the movie, just that. Yeah, you need to see it just to eat your words on that statement
I will eat
alone.
my words on that because I'm pretty sure that's I was wrong in what I said. there.
Okay, well you should go see it. In 3D
Anyway,
theater.
moving on to what I enjoyed.
Oh yeah, District 9.
And not why I'm an asshole.
Well, actually, the only reason I brought it up because there's some people who are going, but what about District 9? Didn't you think the aliens in that were all CG were phenomenal?
Exactly. I loved District 9 and how everything looked in that. It felt real. It felt like a believable world, and I can't believe they did it so quickly on their budget. And it's everything that I could see a Halo movie being, but a better story.
Yeah, it did. In fact, he's the guy that was tapped originally by Jackson to do a Halo movie. So I don't know if
And
that's
obviously
gonna
they
happen.
just like, we'll pour our technology instead to doing this, and it was so good. It was fun.
Which is better? So, like, if you're planning to do a video game movie, hey, how about you do your own original story where you aren't tied down by a licensed product?
I mean,
by a completely and wholly derivative licensed product at that.
Does anyone know what the money was that took in District 9 out of curiosity?
Oh, how much it took
Approximately?
in?
I
Yeah,
bet
don't
Mr.
know.
Wikipedia knows.
I'm sure it does, but I don't
Yeah,
feel
I
like
know.
we're operating it
If
right
only we
this
had a
second.
vast repository of information at our fingertips.
Only we did. But Kayla already left, so.
Yeah.
I'm just curious because, as much as you say that, it's just a fact. It's plain and simple. If they had made
It's
that
a fact.
exact same movie and it had been a Halo film, it would have made 20 times what it actually did.
Yeah. That's true.
Because of the label on there, because people going in to see it. I mean, it's a shame that things are that way. That's the reason with like stuff like with horror, which are traditionally like, low budget anyway, they keep doing remakes and sequels instead of new stuff.
and it's because you people are fucking shit.
Yeah, and if it had been
Stop
a
it.
Halo movie, imagine District 9, but with 14-year-old douchebags teabagging the main character.
But do you really think that Halo has the 14-year-old fan base large enough to get the general public to want to see it?
You
that
really
much?
think 14-year-olds are the only people
Yeah,
who
no,
are really
seriously.
crazy fanatical about Halo?
When Halo 3
No, but-
was selling in the millions on the first day it got released,
Yeah.
that enough is to make producers go, I think there's something
Dude,
here.
this is Halo sells more to the 18 to 25 crowd than it does to the 10 to 14.
I would say
crowd.
it sells to an even older crowd. A bunch of guys who get off work and don't feel like listening to their wives or playing with their kids and want to retreat to their dens and
Let's
just
ask
play
Randy
Halo.
about that.
Yeah.
And your Christmas present.
we would all be
Actually, like
Halo
my wife and
players
kids.
if we weren't doing this.
I like my wife and kids and don't like Halo, so I don't know what's wrong with me.
Well, I just don't see Halo's story as being as powerful and what
Correct.
really
Yeah,
drew me
that's
into
true.
District 9.
No, you're
yeah,
absolutely right.
Halo would not be as much of a draw for me to want to go back and see it as District 9.
No,
was.
absolutely.
My point only being why that happens so much more
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if we could all agree to say, yes, it is 99% of the time better to go with an original thing. But the reason it doesn't happen is for that, which is,
Yeah.
I mean, hey, it is a business.
The funny thing is, had it been a Halo movie and just as good as it is, it would be the one thing that would make me stop saying all video game movies are shit. But for now, I get another year of saying that.
At least another year.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? Who
Come
knows?
on, Mortal Kombat was awesome.
Hey, man, Far Cry is on Netflix right now. I'm going to check that shit out.
Oh, God.
Hey, after that's over, can we see Alone in the Dark?
No.
No.
No, we cannot.
Can we sit alone in the dark and cry?
I've seen it, and I carved my left eye out like Butcher Bill.
I don't even think Rift Tracks dared get on House of the Dead. They were like, no, sorry. No, that's just too much.
Yeah. Some targets are too easy.
No, it's just that even we can't sit through that the 20 or so times it would take to.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they do it. I don't even know. Anyway,
All right.
Brandon, was that your big answer?
I mean, that's,
I give you
that's my
another.
best
I
for
give you
Phil.
one more.
All right, for best for comics, aside from Black Knight, which was already addressed, I really loved Old Man Logan. It was one of the.
Wait a minute. You were the one who hated the ending where everybody else
I loved
liked
it up until he had to do an extra ending, which just felt forced.
Yeah.
It did. You're
And
right.
I think it ended great, and then they did that extra compendium after he said, "Fuck this, I'm gonna go get him," and he did snicked, and it was like awesome.
Oh, you
that
mean
was
the giant size?
They
Logan
did
issue,
it.
didn't
Yeah,
you?
they did that extra.
Okay,
Which
and I
sucked.
didn't like that.
That ending
I didn't-
sucked all around.
I didn't think it did at all. I liked Giant Size Logan. I just didn't think they needed to write it.
Come on,
I thought
Bruce
they had
Banner
already
is a
ended
crazy
it.
cannibal redneck?
He already
kind of
was a
sense-
crazy
I-
cannibal
man, dude,
redneck.
I
No!
Yes. He
I
was a
love-
crazy cannibal redneck physicist.
I love
Well,
the fact
he
that Bruce
wasn't-
Banner had all this strength as just a little old guy.
Yeah.
But it was like by the time I got to the end, I was like, this was completely superfluous, and this story ended an issue ago.
The story
And then they
the
had to
story
end
was
it with
over.
with like Old Man Logan and Cub.
Yeah.
It's just that like the writing was horrible. Like Mark Millar, when he actually takes the time to think out his characters, I think he does excellent dialogue. But this just felt like he didn't give a shit anymore, and Marvel kind of forced like, do one more shot for us.
You mean like
And-
the
and
endings
it just-
of all the Mark Millar comics ever?
Yeah, it just felt like bullshit. Like he didn't give a shit anymore, and he was like, I'll just get the paycheck.
The thing is, Mark Millar wants to be the Michael Bay of comics. And the really sad.
Ah, come on.
He is.
That's not
That's
fair.
not true either. Come on.
That's right. He's not as good as Michael Bay.
Wow, I don't think
That's so
anybody
insulting.
except
I love
Carlisle
Mark
has
Millar.
ever said those words.
Well, I hate
he's
Michael
not,
Bay.
He's not as good as Michael Bay.
Well, I mean, it's almost like, okay, going back to Inglourious Bastards, a lot of his books are kind of doing that to where, like, wow, this is great. You've painted yourself in a corner. How are you going to get out? By doing something really dumb or cheating.
That's true. He doesn't know how to end books.
No, he doesn't.
I think
I thought he ended.
'Cause I've
he
heard
ended
recently-
old. Huh?
Ultimates 1 and 2. I thought he did
Oh,
those really well.
yeah, and he
Yeah.
ended old man great, and then they made him do that extra shit.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Like, I've heard recently, like, the reason Kick Ass is taking so long was because he didn't know how to end it. Like, Grant Morrison gave him an
Well,
idea
that
on
one's
how
supposed to be a
end it,
Why don't you-
which kind of makes me scared.
If you're only planning on 8 issues, really, you can't figure that out before you start writing them? I mean, it's one thing if you're going into, all right, I got assigned to do a run of Booster Gold or something, where I imagine you just fucking figure it out as you go along.
Well, I bet he
He
started it.
He ended Civil War by having Captain America, the guy who punched out Hitler, being tackled by the real heroes of the Marvel Universe, the firemen, policemen, and an EMT, and told, guess what? You're wrong. You people should be in prison. Way to go, Mark. That's a great message to send.
The thing about the Ultimates, I will say that you're right. Yeah, Jason, when you said that he ended those really well. There's that point that it feels like he's totally going to fuck it up in both those books. When you get a couple issues before the end, you're like, I don't like where this is going.
Yeah.
This is not going well at all. And then he really deftly ties both those up.
Well, that's
Right.
good.
And based
Brian-
on that, I was so into his run on Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
He wrote a great thing with Doom and Doom's Apprentice, and I was on this show selling it like, you guys got to pick this up. It's so awesome. And the issue that tied it all up was one of the worst things I ever read. It was one of those, yes, Doom allowed himself to be killed and go back to the primordial age and evolve and come back and evolve over time and come back and be his own apprentice. And I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. I stuck around for this.
Strikes again.
Oh my God! Isn't that pretty much
cares.
what Raceland did in one of the?
Dude,
Oh,
I'm
and
sorry.
one of the Dragonlance books?
Yeah,
I'm
it was.
saving people.
It was.
I mean, because I felt like Sally waiting for the Great Pumpkin.
Oh man, I just
nobody
totally,
cares if you
I
ruined
just
the Miller
totally
Flanders
outed
before.
myself that I knew who Raceland was.
No, Raceland totally did that in one of the Dragonlance books.
I actually played Raceland in a campaign once.
I had
Holy
no idea.
shit! Someone just blew out one of the mics with geekiness. That's hard to do.
No,
in
that was
Leon.
just my voice.
Which, speaking of Bo, what are your favorites of the year?
I don't know if it's a sad commentary upon the year in movies or maybe just a sad comment about my own Arrested Development, but my two favorite movies of this year were more or less geared towards kids. I think the thing, as far as quality, and I haven't seen a lot of some of the more Oscar contendery stuff is coming out now. So, but yeah, my favorite movie of this year is probably The Fantastic Mr. Fox, just because it had this really amazing stop motion animation, which not a lot of people do, and it was just done like so lovingly and incredibly, and like if you look at the scale of like the puppets they're using, it just blows you away.
Wes Anderson should have done. I mean, this is clear that he was perfect for making an animated feature because it's just beautiful. It's so fun to watch. He does these grand scale animations that are just so incredible.
He
And
actually
even-
shot all the animals himself before they taxidermied the puppets.
and stuff
That is what is amazing.
And he stuffed them by hand with stuffing made out of Owen Wilson's hair. It was beautiful.
And like, I haven't had a chance to see it yet, but in seriousness, how do you feel like about that style of stop motion compared to like Coraline, which also came out this year?
Well, I really think that's apples and oranges because Coraline
I
is
agree.
3D animation, computer, and very computer centric, and this is like
No, Coraline was all stop motion.
It's like
It is, but
it's
it's
like
CG
comparing
smooth.
it's like comparing an iPhone to a Swiss watch. It's just like they're both beautiful items that I would love to own, but they're not similar at all.
Coraline, they fed claymation into a computer and they've smoothed out all the edges. Fantastic Mr. Fox is old school standard stop motion
I
animation.
thought Coraline was like
No,
I thought it was like a Nightmare Before Christmas. It was the old school.
No.
There's something about Wes Anderson that totally meshes with the fact that it's a stop animation too.
Well,
because
there is, yeah.
I would see the trailers for that and I was like, I don't know if I really like how that looks. But with his style of storytelling, with his quiet moments and his little asides that people make, it's just
He's,
it works perfectly.
He's very into design. If you buy any of the Criterion Collection versions of his stuff, you know, they're all with like for the Royal Tenenbaums, he has like a map of the house, a hand-drawn map of the house, and all this. And he's a very family-centric director. I mean, you know, granted, mostly what he's talking about in most of his films is dysfunction, but he kind of took that knowledge of the family and used it really well for this old Roald Dahl story, and did an incredible job.
Well, I gotta agree. One of my favorites of the year.
My second favorite, and I gotta say,
Hold on. He's got a comment.
I was going to say, whoever would have imagined this would be the year of George Clooney, Woody Harrelson, and Meryl Streep, who all three had. All three of them had 3 big movies this year.
Yeah. No, it's. I was as far as Fantastic Mr. Fox goes, it's such a great new thing for Wes Anderson, who's always been one of my favorite directors, but lately has been kind of, let's face it, not making as good films as he was.
I really like Darjeeling Express.
I like both,
but it was a transitional.
I like both that and Life Aquatic, but they do not hold up to his first several films.
I thought Life Aquatic was kind of.
you know what?
I actually prefer Life Aquatic.
I was very surprised to hear that Wes Anderson took a note from George Lucas, and he's going back and re-editing all his films in stop-motion animation.
All right. On the very same note of, you know, my best experiences being movies that were cel-based, maybe not my favorite movie, but the most enjoyable time I had in a movie theater this year was Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
I
laughed.
I didn't know you get to see that.
I did. Saw it in 3D.
Great.
Loved it. Laughed my ass off. I literally was roaring in the aisles, and you know how loud that can be.
Yes, I do.
I'm glad I didn't invite him to that screening.
The thing I love about Bo, you take Bo to a movie, and he'll be like the loudest guy. And at the end, I was like, "Wow, you like that movie?" He's like, "It's okay."
my theater friends adore me. What can I say? But yeah, I mean,
dude, I gotta say, I love Sherlock Holmes, but I loved it even more sitting next to you watching it.
He actually did, and somebody, I can't remember who, I think it was Savlov, who came out and just like, "Hey, your friend Bo there, he made that a lot funnier. I enjoyed that more hearing him go." It's like, you know what? Sometimes he works against a film. This time he worked for it.
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. I mean, incredibly original humor, great voice casting. They took the source material and, you know, overlaid a original story on it. Did it really well while still being respectful to the children's book that it comes from, and deriving a lot of you know, what makes it a great movie from that source. Man, just an all-around winner. I loved it.
All right,
that's gonna be my Blu-ray disc for the when it comes out.
I'm gonna piggyback on what you said and say the thing that's gonna get us the most hate mail.
Oh, here we go.
Awesome.
You do that? What?
Yeah, Leon, you're gonna say something horrible
here's time for
after
that
my
kerosene.
gushing praise of something? I don't believe it.
Here's time for that kerosene that Cyrus always accuses me of throwing.
Yeah, but it's always fun to watch. I just stand back and warm my hands.
It's like watching. It's like watching a Christmas elf who also happens to be a terrorist.
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs did a better job of expanding on a children's book than Where the Wild Things Are
It did indeed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you very much.
How incendiary!
I agree with that.
My God, sir, how dare you?
No, the sheer amount of people who are talking this year about it is Where the Wild Things Are being one of the best films of the year, and I'm sorry, it's just not. I know we wanted it to be. God
really
knows.
Everybody
Well, that's it. Everybody
wanted
wanted it to be something that it wasn't. I think what it was is a good film. Not necessarily great. Good.
I'd agree with that.
So I guess
Okay,
that
I'll
can't
go
be
with
my
that.
pick because it was on my list.
It's in my top 12
20.
movies that I've seen this year.
It's not in my top 20.
You know,
I don't think it's in mine either.
No.
It's in my top 5.
Leon lent this to me, and I've been so excited to read it watch it because I'd read the books.
That's not true because I'm not allowed to loan out those screeners that I
That would
am
never
giving.
have
That
happened.
never happened. You must have seen it online somewhere.
Oh wait, yeah, that's right. I was watching it on Mega Video, and I was gonna watch. Wait, I'm just drinking myself a hole here. Shit.
Mega Video kids, Google it.
Fuck. Let's delete. Okay. Anyway, I was considering going to watch this, and I was really excited about it. But Leon had talked about how bad it is, and I just can't bring myself to watch it.
Well, and I don't really think it's bad. It
No,
just
it's not bad.
It just didn't
No,
do it
but
for me.
how disappointing it is based on the hype. It seemed like it
yeah,
was
but
really hyped
now
up.
you've heard the other side of
Yeah.
it.
Don't
So-
go in expecting a magical childhood experience. Go in expecting what it's like as an adult to look back upon your childhood.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
just
I agree
saying
with that. That's
now.
what it is.
I
Please-
have that
please,
sitting
Grant,
in my
do watch
illegal
it.
queue.
But that's
and haven't
not
been
a
able to
bad
watch it.
thing.
It is 100% worth watching. It's just not as good a film as we'd all hoped it was going to be.
yes.
Except Randy, apparently.
I do want to bring it up just because you guys brought up the theatrical going experience, and that was Sherlock Holmes, which I was expecting to be a turd on a plate, and I absolutely loved. I'm
Yeah, you're
definitely
the Sherlock Holmes guy.
definitely
I
gonna
know.
go. Yeah, I reread all of the Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, there we go. The beer kicked in. I reread all of the Sherlock Holmes short stories every year. I generally read at least 2 of the novels, Hound of the Baskervilles or Sign of Four. I really thought what they were trying to do with that was to shoehorn. Guy Ritchie was going to shoehorn Robert Downey's popularity into a very
His action style.
a very stupid action style. And they were actually, in my opinion, very respectful of the source material. Some of the stuff comes straight out of the book. And it was so fun and funny and such an original take on the character.
It's funny because like when Bo looked at me and said like I'm a Sherlock Holmes purist, and I was like, so am I. But then when he listed all those things he just said, I was like, okay, maybe I'm not the purist I think I am.
I knew that already. I
But
was like,
but I will say like
Yeah.
really I like watching that so many times recently and watching Star Trek. I can't decide between the two of them which is my favorite movie.
really?
Star Trek.
Yes.
Really.
Wow.
Well, and both of those movies were movies that I was dreading.
Exactly.
Yeah, both of those really defied expectations. Like I'm not as much of a purist as you are, but they brought a lot of like Holmes canon stuff that's pretty obscure, especially to the casual fan.
When he's describing the watch,
when he's describing
that is actually straight from Sign of Four. Watson gives him a watch and says, "What can you tell from a person about this?"
I mean, they even brought up his cocaine addiction a little obliquely, but it was in there.
Oh yeah. I don't think it was all that oblique. They were like, "Hey, look at this big syringe."
Well, there was also the moments like Holmes. The thing you just drank was for eye surgery.
Well, when they started the scene, there was a baby crawling on the ceiling, so I thought it was clear. Maybe I misread that,
The worst bathroom in Victorian London.
which is saying something.
It's funny because TMC or TCM Turner Classic Movies ran like they had like a Sherlock Holmes marathon with all the Basil Rathbone movies, and there was I start watching this one where he's during World War II, and I'm like, oh great, it's those later ones when they moved him up to the 40s, only to read on Wikipedia that like all those Basil Rathbone movies are in the 40s except for the first 2.
Yeah.
The last thing I'll mention, we move on to Randy. I do want to do at least one comic thing, and that is my surprise of the year. Since we're kind of focusing on surprises, is Batgirl. I really, really like the new Batgirl.
Dude,
series.
lesbians are
Yeah,
awesome.
man.
Dude,
No. That's
the
Batwoman.
art is
That's Batwoman,
spectacular.
which is great, and it's got J.H. Williams III's art, which is incredible.
Oh, I just thought that was Jason making a comment.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are we talking about comic books?
There we go.
No, it's true. DC has discovered that lesbians are the key to good female comic
Yes,
heroes.
they have,
I mean,
and yes,
honestly,
they are.
maybe that's what they should do with Wonder Woman at this point because they've never had a good run yet.
I know,
Maybe
it's just
that's
like
what they're
she
missing.
comes from an island where there are only women.
Do we really have to spell it out
Yeah.
for you people?
But you're talking about
Yeah, the Batgirl with Stephanie, who
Used to be the spoiler.
Stephanie, who is the spoiler, and was
Before Leon was.
the first canon female Robin, has now moved on to become Batgirl, and she's teamed up with Barbara Gordon, Oracle, the original Batgirl. And then I'm really liking it. I'm always a sucker for a strong female protagonist, and this is kicky and fun. I'm really enjoying, which apparently Leon is not because he's shrugging and nodding.
I'm not doing a Nixon impression. I'm just saying. I really like Cassandra, the Asian Batgirl.
Pretty frosty.
I
there,
hated
Nixon.
her. I absolutely despised her.
I liked her quite a bit.
I haven't
you're-
read any of it, so I have no idea. I will judge later which of you is wrong and announce it officially on Spill.
I can answer you now, and it's me.
Hey, Randy.
What?
Randy, you look like you got
Randy.
something to say.
What's your?
Other
Although
than
we've already told you that you're wrong for liking
or-
Where the Wild Things Are.
Yeah.
Or you can read something off of my list.
whichever works better for you.
No, actually, a lot of the stuff that I was going to cover, Bo covered, which is good because I was trying to decide what I was going to cover. Sherlock Holmes, just real quickly. I just saw it a couple days ago, so I'm in that fresh. It's awesome, and I haven't had time to really process, but it's my second favorite movie of the year right now. I really, really like it.
And I gotta say, that's one of those. And I shouldn't say this because of Avatar, but that's one of those trailers that lies.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's such hyped up as like some gritty, fun, action-packed action movie, and it really stays true to a detective.
No, yeah, based on the trailer, I was like, oh, this is going to be terrible.
Honestly, like
That's
I
why I
said,
wrote it off.
To me, watching it, I was like, wow, this is the Batman movie I always wanted before Christopher Nolan made his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sherlock Holmes as 18th century or 19th century Batman. It was great. My favorite movie was Inglourious Bastards, which I don't think we've talked about.
Ooh.
God damn
Oh,
it.
you're the guy.
Dude,
Hey, I love that movie
Dude,
too.
I am a Tarantino. I will admit,
I
I'm
am
a bit of a
right there with you,
Tarantino
Randy.
apologist.
Solidarity, brother.
I actually, I like the Kill Bill movies.
Okay.
I do too.
I mean, I like Tarantino, and Inglourious Bastards was the most fun I had in the theater this year. I had so much fun watching it.
Here's Inglorious Bastards. Blah, 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 blah. Shoot Hitler, blah, blah, blah.
No, man, come on, that opening scene had some of the best tension I've seen in a
I
movie.
Tarantino does tension well.
Have you ever seen Keith David strapped to a bench in the first fucking week of winter in Antarctica? That's tension, my friend.
Now, are you talking about The Thing, or is this something you've done?
No. No, it's on his Amazon wish list, though.
Some people
Are you talking about
Wait,
the thing?
Keith,
I wasn't
Keith
talking
David
about a
strapped to a table in Antarctica is actually on his wish list?
Yeah, you can. Honestly, I've got it on mine too.
Amazon's getting a little too specific.
It's in there.
If you can have people strapped to a table on your wish list, you went with Keith David?
Once they added once they added that
Gianna
wish
Michaels,
list,
people, come on.
once they added that wish list function, I mean, you can go to like uncrate.com and get all kinds of bizarre shit, but that really is stretching the imagination.
And speaking of wish list, no, I'm not going to
Yeah,
go there.
by the way, Bo, there's a stinky box outside with your name on it.
Randy,
I don't know.
I'm
It's
just
like
going to
dead
say
people.
again, on a second viewing, I think Inglourious Bastards is a really clever film that could have really needed somebody to tell Tarantino no at points. To say, this doesn't fit, this doesn't work,
Yeah,
you need to edit this out.
You know what? I'm right there with you because at times it had me completely enraptured and,
Yeah.
and on the edge of my seat with the tension because he's so good at that.
There's
And with the violence.
genius in
He
that.
should commit a crime so he can go to jail and talk to Roger Avery.
Well, you're absolutely right because there'd be times like, oh, this is brilliant, and then it would go like, don't take me seriously.
Yeah.
But take me seriously. Oh, but now don't take me
Well,
seriously.
just stuff's taken so out of like the context of everything else that's happening there, like the whole suddenly we're in an '80s David Bowie music video for no reason at all.
Dude, I
that
love
has
that sequence.
nothing to do either
Love that
visually, thematically, the music and everything. You're like, why is this happening? This
What-
is a World War
wait,
II
what
film.
sequence was that?
Yeah.
When with the
When she's putting
French
on
When
girl.
Shoshana is
and-
getting ready, for,
It's
when she's
the
getting
warm
ready
bed,
and they're
basically,
And
prepping
you're
the
like, what
theater.
the fuck? Why are we watching an '80s music video?
When they kill Hitler with the laser, I thought that was a little over the top.
Wait, here comes the big bear Jew. Here he comes.
I know,
He's
I know.
coming.
Oh, it's fucking
And it's Eli Roth with a bat. I mean, a bat. It was like, what?
It's Eli Roth, the weak fucking link in the movie.
Don't fuck with that guy. He'll put you in his next movie.
Mike Myers is also another weak.
There
Actually, I
are,
love
yeah,
Mike
but he's
Myers in
barely.
that.
Really?
Yeah.
You're the only person I've ever heard
No,
that.
I
I thought Mike Myers was
I
all
love
right.
Mike Myers because he's supposed to be off and weird and sort
Over
of out
the
of
top
sync.
and
No. My
Out of sync with the
problem.
rest
My
of that
problem
scene.
with that
Okay.
is not Mike Myers. It's that scene is in that movie at all.
Yeah, it's
That's
one of
all.
those like edit that scene out of the movie
Yeah.
and it changes nothing.
It's not that
This
Mike
sound-
Myers is in it. It's just that there's no reason for him. to
This
I
sounds-
kept watching that scene, going,
Yeah.
"Look at Mike Myers. What the fuck is Mike Myers doing?"
This
Mike
sounds like a
Myers.
great movie to be really, really, really drunk for.
Shit, let's try that tonight.
Is there
I
any
know,
other?
man. We can watch it after this.
Is there any other type?
You know, maybe this is a crazy idea, but does anyone want to drink an alcoholic beverage?
Yes.
Ooh,
I mean, I know we're all sober. during
you're
these.
talking my
have any?
language.
Way ahead of you, Chief.
I got an email from one of our users recently who all too
One of our users.
our users.
What is this, fucking Tron?
I'm sorry.
Greetings, program.
Leon,
strung out
the
on
crack
Leon.
cocaine of the internet.
Where do you live? What world are you in?
We're more like the date rape drunk.
Who said, have you guys considered giving up drinking for charity? Maybe. I was like, okay, no, I appreciate where you're
Oh my
going.
God, we could do the first sober-thon.
No, I appreciate where
What charity? My liver?
I
The charity is
appreciate-
for more beer.
I
better be a
appreciate
charity
where
you
he's
hate.
going.
Free beer.
It was a nice thought. It's like Christmas time doing something for charity, but really, I'm sorry. That's just not going to happen.
No, that's beautiful, you fucking moron.
Jason,
What
well,
about drinking for
well,
charity?
Well, as everybody knows, charity begins at home, and so do the roots of alcoholism.
Jason would
dysfunctional
kill
family.
all of us if we stopped drinking. So it's not going to
Or
happen.
at
I
least
think they
myself.
got that backwards. I think you want to drink for charity. I think that is what the Leog should
Right.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
see
keeping
how
us-
much we can
keeping us
drink.
I think it would be a
Keeping us
liver
off the streets.
marathon.
We should have a 24-hour Leog marathon where we drink for charity.
Chug for charity.
We need some sponsors.
Thank you, Jimmy Durante.
So,
All right, you.
so since everyone but Harrison Grant shit on my #1 movie of the year,
Yeah.
I'm going to take another
I like
chance.
No. I would agree with you, but we'll get to that. I'm sorry.
All right. My other one, which I think may be a little more receptive here, is Up.
Oh, son of a bitch!
Nice.
You stole
No, fuck that movie. This movie's horrible.
I just watched
Can
it.
you say that? You can't even say that with a straight.
You know what? Here's what I will say.
does have some problems with it.
I will say what I have a problem with that. You know what? I love the first 45 minutes as it was advertised in the trailers, and then all of a sudden it goes creepy ass Dr. Seuss wackity-doo with flying talking dogs and bullshit that I'm like, what the hell is going on in this movie?
Shut the fuck up, Grant! Up is the greatest fucking animated movie come out in the last 10 years. Shut the fuck up!
For the first 45
shut
minutes.
the fuck up, Grant!
You know what? I never ever do this in real life, but I think it's time for one of these.
Wait, who are you guys clapping for?
Me, right? Me.
Really? 'Cause-
Ah,
okay,
shit.
okay, this happens all too often. But once again, I'm gonna stand with Grant.
What?
Yeah, that's my boy.
I don't feel to the same intensity that he does.
I don't feel it as intense as I'm expressing on
It's
this
funny. I thought you guys had
However-
hearts. I guess I was wrong.
Negativity is like heroin to you, isn't it, Leon?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Did it hurt when they pulled out your soul?
I left the Up experience
Well, it's gonna hurt when they
enjoying
pull out
the
his
movie,
spine.
and I want that to be clear, especially after Avatar. I left the experience of watching Up enjoying the movie, but I was disappointed overall with what I expected. And what I expressed is what I
Okay, do not
expected.
watch Where the Wild Things Are. I take it back.
You're right. I take that back. Don't
All
watch
right,
that.
fair enough.
I thought it was one of the most beautiful and charming films of the entire year, personally.
I thought it was beautiful and charming,
I thought it
and
was-
yet not most.
I thought it was next to flawless. Just saying.
It started off that way, and they could have kept that consistent, except for talking flying plane dogs. Dogs flying planes that could talk. I don't know.
That didn't bother me.
It just
in
sounded.
This you're watching this Pixar
And-
film where the dogs can already talk, and the flying planes part is that what shut you down.
No,
After
no,
the
I
first
mean,
45 minutes, it became a completely different movie.
To me, it felt like two ideas that were sandwiched together that were like completely separate before and somehow glued together in a way to try to make them work, but it wasn't organic for me.
I don't agree. I thought the initial idea was
Thank you.
the character setup to make what happens in the second part of it have resonance.
I get that. It's just that I wasn't prepared for that.
If it helps,
And I had a completely different movie in mind with the trailer.
think of it like this. It's a really odd art film about a man coming to terms with he's got nothing to live for, so he gasses himself and commits suicide. Unfortunately, he also takes the small little boy with him who was hiding in his house. The rest of the movie is all about him and this kid trapped in purgatory until they can find a way to cleanse their mutual sins and achieve nirvana.
I like this. I
Okay,
like this
now I
a
love
lot.
It's even sadder than I thought.
Wait. Yeah, me and Leon.
No.
Randy, you know what? It was Randy's goddamn top list, and he hasn't even got a chance to talk about the reasons why he likes the goddamn film.
I don't fucking remember. All I know is that everyone hates talking dogs.
No, just
and Nazis and whatever.
just plug your fucking store again, Lander.
Rogue
Nobody
Scally, I
cares.
don't even have the heart for it.
No. It's just Grant, which is probably
know.
if they put the list of like most said expressions on the League League of Extremely Ordinary Gentlemen and be like, wow, who knew? It was like on Star Trek with the He's Dead Jim. It's
Did
like
you guys
just
see the
Grant.
Wikipedia post someone put up it was on there for a while, where the first thing that's like a common catchphrase of Wikipedia
Is it
shut the fuck up, Grant?
really? Because at this point I was thinking it was no talking Randy.
Can we institute that?
Dude, I'm
All
not on
right.
the Wikipedia page. Nobody knows who the fuck I am.
Quote on Wikipedia .. Randy.
And speaking of fish.
So yeah, I was gonna say that.
Long live the league! Welcome to our No More Remotes at Rogues Gallery episode.
Please,
Oh no,
Fish.
there'll be one more.
Okay,
It'll be like
So-
Hostel.
top two. What?
Long live the league!
Son of a bitch. Okay, no, my number one was Up, and a close number two was Inglourious Bastards. Randy pretty much
No,
stole
no,
both
no,
of them from
we've
me.
invalidated
But-
those two.
I'm really sad that Grant isn't here because comic-wise, you guys haven't mentioned Daredevil yet. And also, I want to mention TV shows. Like the one TV show I watch religiously is The Office, and I think this is one of their best seasons in ages.
Do you really? Because I watch it religiously too, and I love the show, but I have been feeling like this is one of their lesser seasons.
I disagree. I really like
I think it's
the new dynamic between having
Jim in charge.
as a
Yeah.
co-op
Jim in charge
manager.
is really cool.
It has the unfortunate side effect of making Jim a little douchey, but I think that's interesting.
which he always has been.
Yeah, you just didn't see it.
Well,
But
he
everybody-
was in a different
oh,
way.
he's so cute. He wants to be in love with Pam, but he's always kind of been. There's always been a level
Yeah, a little bit.
that he has been a smarmy douche.
No. Well, I thought that got brought up when they had a different boss who didn't buy into Jim's bullshit.
Oh, that
and
was
that made
great.
it really interesting.
Yeah, that guy was horrible, but he was a great
Yeah.
foil. I
Yeah.
guess.
Stringer Bell? Is that what you're talking about? Ah, so
Yeah.
good.
Stringer Bell.
Yeah.
I
the
still
Wire.
haven't watched The
I
American
know.
Office, so I'm gonna sit back and take you all at your word that it's awesome.
Dude, I can't
It's
believe you
really
don't
good.
watch this show. It's so good.
It's only been based on timing. That's it.
Okay.
Of just like
Fair enough.
It is one of the few shows I watch.
I would
I would
only
lo-
say The
I've
Office
heard it's great.
only because everything else was taken, though.
Well, seriously, other than
He
Lost,
went.
Long
you
live
missed
the
that part.
Stop doing that.
You missed that.
Ladies
part.
and gentlemen, professional horrible bastard Jason.
That's awesome.
And that's coming from me.
Please, Fish, continue.
I don't know what the fuck I was gonna say.
I know what you mean.
You stole that from Randy.
Do you want to look at my list, Fish?
So here's the thing. You guys gotta you guys
Just
gotta
look
go
at that, see if anything
early.
grabs you.
You gotta go before we start drinking too
No,
much.
no. Going last is always better because
Are those instructions on how to bury a hooker?
you always get more time to think about it if you go last.
You're a good
That's
place to
not-
play.
And then
Quick
you're at
line.
the end, and everyone else is taking everything
You
good,
can
and
up-
you have to
you
say The
can-
Office.
You can pick the stuff that everybody else goes, I can't believe I didn't think of that.
Yeah, funny how that didn't happen.
It
these
didn't
last two
happen
times.
these last 2 times. That's true, but it
go ahead
could
and-
have.
What?
Let me go ahead and read off Bo's list here. And
There we go.
Glee.
Fuck on. Fuck yeah.
Oh, I can't
Fail.
believe we even discussed that on this episode.
Oh, I'm sorry that the critically acclaimed show isn't good enough for you.
Yeah. Yes.
Maybe you have to watch people singing. Oh, that'd be horrible.
You're right in saying that some critics did like it, which to say critically acclaimed is, from a strictly rationalist point, accurate.
Yeah,
Others
I'm
didn't.
sorry. It's hitting the number one space on most of the critics' best of
Is
TV list.
the Mentalist and 2.5 Men on that list also?
Really? Are those
On
some of your
on
favorites?
Bo's list?
Yeah.
On Bo's
as
list,
far
yeah,
as
I'm
like
asking.
favorites of critics.
Yeah.
I know. 'cause
Hands
neither
up
one
who's
of
actually
those-
watched the show more than twice.
Yo.
The people who
Oh,
liked
nobody in the
Okay,
room except
anybody
me and
straight?
Harris.
Bo and Harris.
I watched the pilot. That was enough to say no. Bad Glee. Sorry, just saying.
Wait, was that a Who's
Now,
Straight list?
that being said, Joss Whedon is writing an episode, and I will watch that one.
See,
anyways,
there
so,
you go. You're
okay.
fucked now.
I know.
Which is
I know.
not gay at all.
No,
Suffer
I-
nerds, you're going to be watching it with
The
us.
gay never even entered into it. It was just I didn't like the show.
Okay, how about this? Leah Michelle, who's one of the main characters, is now in Spring Awakening. She gets her tits out. It's all over the internet.
Hot damn.
Yeah, it doesn't help.
It's the internet.
It's the
Everybody
internet.
gets their tits
Everybody
out.
gets their tits out, exactly. Sooner or later.
So are we ready to say goodbye to Fish?
Long live the league.
No, because I want to do a quick once around. I never got my turn to mention some shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, Cyrus, what did you enjoy
Well,
this year?
honestly, I wanted to throw out here. There's, I never listen to music until 2 years after it's already come out, usually, because
Yes.
it takes your time to get into it. But there was a great album by Animal Collective called Merriweather Post Pavilion.
Ooh, yeah.
That was fucking groundbreaking. I mean, it was like one of those like when Pink Floyd first hit the scene type of
I don't
albums.
know.
It's really
In this
amazing.
digital age, I don't know what song is on which album, but is that the one that has the My Boys song on it?
It didn't really have any radio hits,
No,
if that's what you're
it's
thinking
their most
of.
recent
My
release.
Girls.
Oh, wait, maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, you queen.
It was. I mean, it was a.
Yeah, because Grant confuses boys and girls.
It was a
all the
single,
time.
but for whatever
What's
that
the
means.
difference?
It was a
right?
single for college radio, which means if you just were tuning around on your radio dial, you didn't hear it.
I don't get my music from the
But
radio.
no, it was a groundbreaking record. It really was, and rarely can you say that about anything anymore. And that really was. That band's amazing, as well as something I just discovered like 2 days ago. Flaming Lips did a cover of Dark Side of the Moon, the entire album.
Oh, wow.
Which is really badass as fuck and totally worth seeking
and not
out.
too self-referential.
It's absolutely self-referential, and God bless him for it.
Yeah, but
Henry Rollins
I-
does all the spoken word parts during it.
Oh my God!
Peaches shows up to do the female singing part during what is it, Eclipse? I can't remember that.
yeah, I think I don't know.
That
But
whole-
here's the thing: like,
awesome.
modern rock radio has absolutely fucking ruined Dark Side of the Moon for me. It used to be one of my favorite albums. They overplayed it so fucking much that I can't listen to it anymore. The idea that there's a version out there recorded by somebody completely different, wow, maybe I can fall in love with the album all over again.
Honestly, it's
And Wizard of Oz, look out.
don't get this and assume that, I love Dark Side of the Moon, I'm just going to totally love this because I love Dark Side of the Moon. It's a completely different take on these songs, which is the way any self-respecting artist does a cover of something. If you're going to do a cover, why do you want to sound just like the original? You want to make it your own, and Flaming Lips do not have
Yeah,
any
Gus
issue
Van
with that.
Zandt.
You want to be like UB40
Yes,
and do a
thank you.
soft reggae version of it.
I didn't say it was automatically good by that decision. I'm just saying you should
Hey,
attempt
money.
to make it.
All I'm saying is Dark Side of the Moon, slow jams.
Now, I wanted to say about television, this was the year that Chuck really proved that it had legs, as far as I was
Yeah.
concerned. It was an absolutely astonishing season of that show that just got better and better. And y'all talked earlier about Chevy Chase on Community, and goddamn was he great on Chuck. Holy shit.
He plays a really good bad guy.
I mean, and
I think this is like 2010 is going to be the year of his Shatner-esque relaunch. I really do.
yeah, no, I
He's
think it
gonna
very
get a
well might
hairpiece.
be.
And a spoken word album.
Oh, he'll be able to afford several more.
And a deal with Priceline.
He's already fat and horrible looking, so.
Honestly, of all the shows with big cliffhangers, Chuck by far blew them all away, including Lost, as far as best cliffhanger episode of the year.
Careful.
Oh, no,
You watch it.
Oh.
Watch it, sucker.
Aunt Gray is
I
over
got your back,
here.
Cyrus.
You
I'm right here.
spoil anything for me, you little bastard.
You're
will cut
lucky
your
I
fucking
haven't
nuts
seen
off.
it.
No, it's a fantastic cliffhanger.
It is.
And
But fade to
and,
white.
And nothing shows more. No, not Lost.
Chuck.
Fucking Chuck.
I
Chuck
know.
Chuck
God damn it.
shows more promise for next season, especially with the previews they've already shown for next season. We're like, oh my god, it's I guess on some level it's a
I gotta
satire of
say-
the Matrix, but it's really.
I
fun.
watched the first 5 episodes and I really, really liked it. And it's one of those things that just got out from under me, and I didn't go back to. That recommendation alone is going to make me go and watch it.
I'll be honest. I'll tell you, just like with Lost, in the second season of Chuck, early on, there's a point where it could lose you, but I would say if you stick with it, you will be greatly rewarded.
Yes, I agree. Where it's at that point you're feared it's only going to be episodic. Like this isn't going anywhere. It's just a silly, fun, but enjoyable episodic show that's not going to build to something. It most definitely starts building to something, and yet never loses that fun, the best of the '80s style episodic.
Can I
television
ask for
fun.
a recap of what the show's about? I'm sorry, Bo. What?
Oh, I was just going to make an aside. Speaking of episodic stuff and going back to our Joss Whedon thing, I'm retracting a little bit of my statements about Dollhouse, like really losing it, because they've really picked it up within the last couple episodes, and it's awesome. It's not going to come back, but if you watched in the first season and you enjoyed it, go ahead and watch the second season. In fact, you can just skip to episode 7, start there, and go to the end.
Yeah,
because
right
it's
on.
awesome.
It's a
Absolutely.
shame that like canceling the show is what finally made it get a move on with its plot.
Yes.
Perhaps a lot of
Yeah.
shows need a lot more of
Once
this.
the-
We're
once
gonna
the plot-
cancel you.
Once the plot
Make it
kicked
good
in,
now.
holy crap, it got awesome.
I really think, because the original discussion that Joss Whedon had was, hey, I'm going to do like 8 episodes for Elijah Dushku. She wants to do this new show. I'm going to write 8 episodes for her. And then it turned into, oh, Joss Whedon's doing a new show. I think he kind of wants it to die. He has said himself that he doesn't want to do episodic TV anymore. So
I do have
You
to
know.
say, I don't know if everyone knows this already, and if you listeners don't, you should check it out. The director for the most recent episode, the one that really had the biggest literal and metaphorical mindfuck, was John Cassaday,
That's right.
who was,
Yeah, I
who
saw
was
about that.
the artist Joss Whedon had with Astonishing X-Men.
Yeah.
Sorry, not
Chuck,
to transition
recap.
it back
Chuck,
to
Chuck,
Chuck,
recap.
but last I knew, it was this guy who got a bunch of FBI data loaded into his head, and so he was working with an agent, but he works at a geek place.
It's more than that.
He works at an analog of Best Buy. He's got a handler played by Alec Baldwin, who's a CIA agent. And
Adam Baldwin.
Yeah, excuse me. Who's a CIA
The same guy
agent.
from Firefly?
Yes.
All right, cool.
And he also works in coalition with a female agent, and there's some romantic stuff, like, tension going on
There's
there.
a lot of
That's the very basic.
There's a lot of tertiary characters that are there for humor purposes, and that sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't in the early seasons. But as it goes along, they make it work more and
Well,
more.
can I ask what, like, I don't know if this is just gonna spoil everything, but what changes and picks up from season 1? Because that's what I knew from season 1. In season 2 and 3, that's different.
Well,
The
they-
tailies.
Yeah, you know what, dude? I really would hate to say anything to
I would
ruin
too.
what's going
Oh,
on.
okay.
I mean,
All right.
I will say that, like, as the show kept progressing in the second season, it was just that feeling of like, man, it's getting so good, and they just might cancel it, and that's going to be a shame.
Yeah.
And by the season finale, it's like, you better not cancel this show.
No, like I'd be furious if you canceled this
let me
show.
say the one thing I can say, I don't think this is a spoiler in any way, is that the first season is very much about Chuck sort of being a hapless loser who has all this data in his head.
Yeah.
And in the second season, he sort of starts to come into his own a little bit. And
Exactly.
you're like, you know what?
Owns it.
Okay, he's sort of the hero of this piece. I mean, I'm not going to say he becomes super spy or anything, but you sort of start to see him
It's funny 'cause
accept where he is at.
that's
IGN
good.
rated him as their #1 hero for 2009
Yeah.
in any
And he
TV
is.
show.
Well, that's the whole
I
thing.
guess
is
that's what the third
He's a
season-
perfect everyman.
The first
Yeah.
season is, you're right, it's about him like barely keeping up with these super
Yeah.
spies. The second season is him becoming just confident enough to start to be able to hold his own and prove to them that not only does he have something to offer, but he's a pretty essential part of the team.
That's
team.
good, because
And the third season is about him becoming unquestionably the most valuable part of the team. I'm just saying.
Right on.
That's
Yeah,
all. it's
but
about-
one of the things I hate is when they take somebody who has gone through this big experience and doesn't like pick up some skills.
Yeah, no, this
It's
is all
just-
about development of the
That's
character.
one of the things. Going back to Sherlock Holmes, that's one of the things I really enjoyed about this interpretation of Dr. Watson. He's not the bumbling.
No.
Oh,
He's not
no,
Nigel Bruce.
no,
Yeah.
he's a badass.
He's his
He's
partner,
a fighter. He's his partner, and it's just like, yeah, he's been hanging out with this guy for a while. He's picked up some tricks. Plus, he's an ex-soldier. It's just like, it's like Xander in the later seasons of Buffy. It's just like. Yeah, he doesn't have any superpowers, but he's picked up a few tricks. And
Well, I gotta say,
when they ignore that, it annoys the fuck out of me.
I appreciate you guys actually like laying it out like that, because I was curious why I should watch this show past the first season.
Yeah.
And that really does make me excited to watch it. So I will. All right.
It's totally worth keeping up with. Yeah.
And you should too.
I do want to make one more TV plug before we kind of wrap it up, just because this is a real under the radar thing, and I think more people should be watching it. I recently just started watching Party Down, which it's a
You mentioned that already.
Yeah, it's on.
God, so much product placement.
I mentioned it off air. But,
was that off air?
Yeah, that was
off air.
all off air. So I do want to bring it up again. It's on the Stars Network, but you can watch it on Netflix. It's a Rob Thomas project, the guy who did Veronica Mars. It actually has a couple of the cast members from Veronica Mars. The guy who played Dick Casablancas is on it. Ken Marino, who played the Vinny, the competing private eye.
It's got the asshole
Is in
brother
it.
from Step Brothers.
It does. It's got
He's the agent on
one of the guys
Eastbound and Down.
one of the guys from Freaks and Geeks.
Martin Starr.
Martin Starr is on it. It's a slam bang up cast. It's about a catering company in LA, and of course, all the members of the catering company are also like they're actors, writers and stand-up comedians, and so they don't want to be doing this. And it's just great. If you love that kind of embarrassing, uncomfortable humor like that comes from The Office or things of that nature, watch this.
Yeah. I've heard nothing but good
freaking
things
hilarious
from it, so
Now,
I'm excited to see
We're
it.
getting towards the end here, but I want to make sure that anybody's like just burning, chomping at the bit. Goddamn, I forgot to mention this. Has their chance to at least throw it out there. Other than Bo.
Just kidding.
All right, let me hit my TV. I got a couple things on the TV list.
Long live the league.
Could somebody please get Jason another whiskey?
Comics, irredeemable if I haven't said that enough.
Burn Notice. Still very fun, very watchable, and as it goes on, is getting more and more fun on USA. I put that up there with Chuck in some ways. It's not as good as Chuck, but if you like Chuck, you'll like Burn Notice. I'm almost sure of that.
Fair enough.
Spectacular Spider-Man Season 2, which nobody knows is still on. Really, really good.
For fuck's sake, watch it, people.
It's
Seriously.
amazing.
And I just want to say real quick, if you haven't seen Torchwood Children of Earth, BBC miniseries about the creepiest, most horrific sci-fi thing I've seen. It's a little cringe-inducing at times, but it is fucking great. And you don't have to be a Doctor Who fan, and you don't have to be a Torchwood fan to see it. I've seen one episode of Torchwood, and then I saw the Children of Earth.
Oh,
But
okay.
It is basically it's sort of their secret, alien fighting government organization coming up against something thoroughly nasty and having to deal with all the politics.
So all that Doctor Who baggage kind of scared me away from that. Even
No,
though I
you
heard
can
it
just
was
watch
good.
that standalone.
We are going to have a Doctor Who Leog coming up here relatively soon with a guy who has written some Doctor Who. I don't know what he's written. Alan
Porter, yeah.
Oh, Alan Porter, yeah.
Yep.
I don't know
Well-
exactly what he's written.
Well, Randy, since I'm not all into that British shit, could I just watch the V instead?
The V.
The View?
The
View. The View. You can watch The View. I'm not going to judge you, man. It's all right.
The V miniseries.
You know, Shar Jackson can peel her skin off and also eat rats whole.
And will. If she's not
Watch
happy.
her unhinge her jaw. It's
Are you
creepy.
talking about V, the show?
Yeah,
The new one or the
the
old
new
one?
one.
I didn't like the new one.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I didn't like
Dude,
it.
I thought the new one was pretty good.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to like it at all because I'd heard bad reports and I watched it. I was like, wow, I'm actually kind of into this shit.
You know,
Yeah, couldn't get into
other
it.
than that problem that they have, we talked about this
Sure.
during our break, but okay, there's this issue where a lot of new shows have decided that the CG is good enough that they can go and like create an entire fake main, like primary set from CG and just digitally put their characters in it. One of those ones we see all the time. Every once in a while in a sci-fi fantasy show, we can forgive that and go, okay, well, that was, they're in front of a volcano. What are you going to do? But this is something like several times a show. There's a Canadian show called Sanctuary, an excellent show, but that suffers from the exact same problem. They need to fix that shit on V if people are going to actually take it seriously.
Okay. Fair enough.
And one last thing to throw out, comic related. Talked a lot about it. Chew, best new comic of 2009.
And no self-involvement on that one.
That's the
Nothing to do
other
with
one
it.
I
That
haven't
event's
read.
over.
but
Actually,
I've read-
that's making a lot of lists
a
as
lot,
the number
yeah.
one.
Yep.
Even people who know more about comics than Randy.
And Leog fans,
There's no one.
if you go out and grab issue 7, you will see Leog's own Allison's cake that she
Yeah.
made
Oh,
for the
yeah.
Rogues
Yeah, she
Gallery
gets a
Chew
plug
Party.
in that.
And where was that cake?
It was at Rogues Gallery Comics and Games in Round Rock, Texas.
Really? That sounds like an incredible comic book.
In
It
fact,
is.
you would,
I should stop there sometime.
you guys would be doing us a huge favor if you would not only go out and pick up that issue, but you would write a letter into them. I guess they have an email address on there. I don't even know what it is, but I'm sure it comes with the issue and say, hey, I picked up this issue and started reading Chew because of what we heard on the League of Extremely
Yeah.
Ordinary Gentlemen on Spill.com. And that
Hell
would
yeah.
Because we would like
definitely
to wield the gathering power of Chew for our own.
Well, the thing is,
and,
is
and a shout out to the Leog fans that did come out to the Chew
Oh, yeah.
party. Anima Troy,
Yeah.
Jonathan Peacemaker.
Yeah.
I think it was Jonathan Peacemaker.
I think it was
somewhere?
Jonathan Peacemaker, right?
Yeah, I think so. I
It was
think
nice
Jonathan.
to see those guys, though. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a couple of folks out. So yeah, thanks for coming and hanging out at Randy's fine store.
Yeah, maybe write an email.
I mean,
no one
it's,
writes letters
we
anymore.
admit it does
Pony
smell
Express.
bad, but it's got a lot of great selection.
You locals should come to the Nomad Bar on Monday nights between 5 and 10 and,
Yeah, you want to
and
see
tip me
bad
heavily.
smell.
Dollar Tecate.
But regardless of the event, which was fun, seriously, even if I hadn't thrown, that's why I threw it, because I saw when I first read Chew. This is a great book, and it's weird. It's a lot of fun. Great art, and I think they're going to go the 60 issue route. I think they're going some really interesting places with it.
I'm glad you brought that up actually, because I'm pretty sure that's my favorite new comic in this year.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to. I can't think of anything else that even is arguably better than that for a new book started.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think it's time. We got to talk about Lost season 5.
God.
Are you guys ready for this?
No.
You ready for a full-on marathon?
I'm going
Grant.
to kill you.
Grant's right. Oh wait, we have to say goodbye to Fish.
We
This
did.
is his last
I'm
broadcast
sorry,
for a
Grant. We're
while.
not.
Damn
gonna
it, Fish! You're ruining my
We're
Lost.
not
Long
gonna
live.
have time.
All right.
We're not gonna have time because we have to say, Fish, you barely said anything during this podcast, which is totally in character.
Hey, he got in a really good shut the
Can
fuck
you-
up Grant.
He did. He did.
You did say some mean
It
things
was-
to me that were
you-
unnecessary.
he got a
No, they
special.
were necessary and
he-
totally justified.
You got a special thumbs up from Jason for that. It was a beautiful thing.
That's
Like
a rare
Well,
Well,
Fish,
a
I'll
torch
really
being
miss
passed.
you. I will really miss you. I'm kidding. Get the hell out of here.
We're killing you.
I'll miss you most of all, Scarecrow.
What we need most is just another person taking up a mic here, because we don't have enough.
That's right, Grant. Why don't you step outside?
Slap fight.
Fight!
Fish, you gotta earn that mic. Get the fuck out of here.
It's Slapsgiving. Come on.
All right, what you gotta say?
Yeah. What do you got to say before you take off back to the wild yonder of Scad?
And we get more fish tanks.
More.
Absolutely.
We'll see.
Yeah, seriously, come on, man.
Do more of those.
We
I
better
love
get
those.
We better
Really?
get more fish tanks. I
You're
look forward
fucking
to them.
hilarious, dude. I didn't even know it until you started doing those.
And show your
Yeah.
tits next time.
Oh, I will.
Or someone's.
Do
Seeing that harem you've got going.
do a little nipple rubbing. Think of Jason.
I mean, think about all the imitators you spawned. You must be good.
I know that there's like the frog tank now and the squid tank, and the crustacean tank. You going across the
cheater tank. The haunted tank.
This bit is totally tanking.
Please let the boy try.
In the tank.
Fish, say something.
What do I have to say? Huh? You could just stumble on my page, go to my wish list if you really know.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, Jesus.
You-
Okay.
you-
Look, go
Possibly.
to Entertainment Earth, and there is
Yeah.
a Rocketeer maquette. It's beautiful. Don't send it to Randy though, because he's looking too eager. Just send it to Fish, because he'll come over to your house and kiss you.
Right, and Fish's address is really, it's actually mine. I'll get it right to him. Don't worry about it.
Oh God.
In fact, just
This is your moment, Fish. You have to speak up.
I'm a freaking supporting character here. Come on, what do you want me
There's
to say?
a reason
man?
you're interrupting.
don't rule your life by
constantly.
Wikipedia, man. What's wrong with you?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. You're a featured extra.
I'm a special guest.
Well, so was Heather Locklear on Melrose Place.
That's
So
true.
Speak out, boy.
A good point.
Okay, well, fuck Grant for
Easy target.
That's
That's
the
all
way
it
to
is.
start it.
Easy target. Whatever.
It's like the first day in jail. You got beat up somewhere.
All right, Jimmy boy, we're gonna make a pirate out of you yet.
You're supposed to beat up the toughest guy, and I'm clearly not that.
man. I was in the
No,
other.
actually, the alpha male takes out the weakest guy.
Yeah, you gotta check out the easy fish.
Yeah.
So he's now the strong fish.
Randy,
What
when
can
are you
we,
gonna be made
guys?
a member?
I think we should start giving. What should we nickname Grant?
Small fish?
Tadpole.
How about litter box?
Guys,
Look at Plankton.
come on.
That's
This
enough.
this game isn't
Grant's
fun.
a made man, you guys.
I think
true,
at this
that's
point
true.
we've gone.
You motherfuckers!
Hey, we've
You
gone-
know who I am?
We've
I'm
gone-
a motherfucking made man!
We've
shut
gone-
up and get
we've
your
gone a
fucking shine
long
box.
way. We've gone a long way to brand the name Grant as meaning worthless piece of crap. So I don't think that we should step away from that.
I have a tag name, a catchphrase that says "Shut the fuck up, Grant." Like you have to drag my name through the mud anymore.
On that note, shut the fuck up, Grant. Fish has the con.
I've
But
made
he's not saying
And
anything
no,
in
I'm
the
just
conch.
beating Grant with the conch right
I've
now.
made a tag phrase out of a completely meaningless piece of nonsense. You little worm.
So,
What's
speaking-
more worthwhile to say than shit against Grant? Sorry, buddy.
Werewolf, werewolf.
Oh
That's
yes.
I,
Those
you know what? I was
classics.
going to ask you, like, if before 2009's up, if I could get one more of those.
One more what?
All right.
Just for me, please.
Can you bring up the X-File so I can get into character? Just start talking about it.
You might want to get me to do that.
Yeah,
might be
start
the
talking about
judge,
the
Mulder
really
and Scully.
start talking
Grant and
about
I can do it.
Start
Grant and
talking
I
about the
can do it.
really great X-Files 2 movie.
Well, I'll be Mulder. You be Scully because you're a little bitch. And all right, let's go. I'll start. So Scully, clearly that this is a case of something other than just science that we're looking here.
I don't know. I think everything's scientifically provable.
Werewolf!
Thank
I
you.
think you might have jumped the gun a little bit on
It
that
doesn't
one.
matter. I didn't want to hear Grant talking.
I was only
going
going to insult you.
I still don't get it.
It all came from the X-Files, and
It
we
did.
don't need to explain it any further than that.
Well, Fish, you've said enough. I just wanted to say we're going to miss you.
Yeah.
Now that we broke that sight off the rifle.
Not all of us.
Go to SCAD and continue your Jedi training.
Yeah, he comes back every time a little more scary, doesn't he?
I know.
He's a little more of that next actor who plays
and,
Anakin Skywalker.
You guys laugh that he'll attack me, but you'll be next.
And when
For-
I
for-
I will be James Earl Jones.
For summer
Well,
vacation.
you'll probably be Lion-O next time. So
For
let's
summer
just-
vacation, in order to be green, I have bought a very large blue backpack, and Fish is going to be carrying me around through the month of August.
There is no try. You must do or do not.
Carry me, you must. Sale there is at Austin Books.
At the Dojo de Bo.
Alcohol you must buy me. Fuel my powers at
Dojo,
will.
I have to carry hooker corpses up and down stairs.
Stinky the whore is becoming. Faster you must go.
That's a good half tone there, buddy.
So we've come to the end, so I'm going to let Fish, since it's his last day here in a town that means something, say the goodbye.
Long live the League!
You son of a bitch.
I'm sorry, it's just too easy.